New camera. New camera.
Socialist lactoid strikes again.
It's good. It's good. You didn't want me to
Look at lactoid.
Doing that
More
for the next
regulation.
3 hours.
Yeah. Just do that. Like, we
back
want
and
that nostalgic feeling. So just make that motion.
More regulations out of the socialist lactoid. Always.
Yeah. So
I just ban kids on the internet.
Hold on. You can. All right. So like, here's the one thing though. I would. To maybe Admiral Gibbs's favor, right? Is that like on Amazon, you got to use a credit card, right?
Yeah.
So most people who have a credit card are over 18. It's true. A parent could put it on a child's account, but then that's kind of on them. Though what Amazon should do, though, they should make. I don't know if they do this. Maybe they already do, right? But like Sony does this. For like PlayStation, is that you can designate an account as a child account, and then they can only buy.
They do that on Amazon.
Well, but what you can do as a kid, here's what you do. It's very easy as a child. And children, if you're watching this, don't do this, please. Thank you. You can make money. Go to Walgreens, buy an Amazon gift card, make an account, put the Amazon gift card on there, order drugs off Amazon, get it delivered to your house. And then fry your myelination.
Wait, they don't age verify when you're making the account to buy certain things?
Let me check to see if they'll.
I mean, by age verify, I think you mean like ask you what your age is. Like, I don't know.
Well, I was thinking for Amazon accounts potentially ID. I can't remember my last time making my Amazon account, but I feel like they should require an ID.
Here, I can order.
Why?
I mean, here in Texas, because you need an ID to watch.
It's like adult.
You do need an ID to watch porn now.
To purchase, like there's oh my god, what's the shit that like is alongside weed? Like, what's a bong called?
A water pipe?
Paraphernalia. There's paraphernalia and things on Amazon, so therefore you need to be above a certain age to purchase those types of things.
There's nothing on Amazon saying that I have to verify my age.
Socialist lactoid.
I could be wrong. I just thought you did.
Homie, they're literally. Come on. Is it socialism for me to say that children shouldn't be able to huff gas?
Yeah, Gibbs. What Gibbs at a certain point? What is there anything that shouldn't be allowed to be sold? Did I ask that correctly?
True intellectual property.
Two children.
No. Fuck it to anyone because
Gibbs isn't gonna fuck either way at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I have an issue with one of them. I'll tell you. I think the alcohol age limit should be dropped to 18. If you could die for the country, you should be able to buy a beer. I feel like
that's
one's one.
That's fair.
But like yeah, once you turn 18, I don't give a shit what.
Wait, hold up. Wait, should 14-year-olds be able to die for your country, for their countries?
Well, if they are, let them drink beer.
That's what I'm just like, I just want to know where. I need to know just like where your limits are.
I'd rather a child soldier be drinking a Miller Lite or a Bud Light than snorting the Brown.
Listen, I just want to argue with you where you're
also bad for children.
I just need to know what your limits are, and then
degrees,
we can go from there.
Degrees of improvement. Listen, first they were sniffing paint, now they're sniffing a whippets. That's drastic improvement. One kills you, one does brain damage. Brown kills you.
What if instead of comparing this to gunpowder mixed with cocaine, we instead compare it to what children should be consuming, like celery, broccoli.
Well, that's why they made it fruit flavored, brother.
That's your pussy.
They made the Galaxy Gas fruit flavored.
I don't want to live in this pussy America he's got going on over here.
I didn't know that they makes gunpowder.
Listen, they banned mango jewel pods.
So
it's called brown. It's something that they do like in war-torn areas that use child soldiers, for example. They'll give them a drug called brown, which is a mix of cocaine and gunpowder. You mix it together, and then it gives you like the high of a cocaine rush, but also gunpowder has psychological effects as well. And so basically, it's like hyped up. Yeah, it's like hyped up cocaine.
Connor,
basically.
is this something you know about?
I mean, I've watched the movie Lord of War, so yeah.
So you've never partaken in the brown?
I did see Lord of War, but I don't remember that.
It's not a Lord of War.
I read it in a book.
It's in the one with Idris Elba. Is they do the brown. I can't think of the guy.
Counterpoints. Would you allow your child to order a large canister of nitrous oxide off Amazon and huff it?
We can't hear you.
Well, his mic cut out, so we can go ahead and assume yes.
God answered for him.
Let's do these social.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Counterpoints and indict yourself in front of Child Protective Services. Go ahead.
Sorry, what was the question?
Would you? So we're having a conversation about the recent phenomenon within among young people of buying Galaxy Gas, otherwise known as nitrous oxide, otherwise known as a big tank of whippets, flavored whippets. What are your thoughts on Amazon, children being able to go on Amazon and order boxes of nitrous oxide to be shipped to their house and basically...
What they want to make blueberry whipped cream.
Is it like dual use? Like,
Yeah.
does it have like another use?
Technically, yes.
Whipped cream.
You can make your own whipped cream if you get cream.
Well, to be fair, you can make things like fizzy as well. Like you can put like fruits and stuff in the canister, inject the nitrous, and it'll make it like fizzy or like
this is marketed.
carbonated.
This is
You can
marketed
carbonate.
right, but this is marketed specifically as a drug. Right? They sell it at head shops. They go to weed conventions and they sell it. They flavor
allegedly.
it. It's flavored, and it's in these giant and it's in these giant tanks with specialized mouthpieces on, so you can huff it directly. And there's videos. Yes,
This is like I've told you guys multiple times. I'm like a libertarian at 9 a.m. and I'm a Christian nationalist by 6 p.m. So it literally depends on my mood. But frankly, I think that if you kill yourself or make yourself retarded with whippets, then that's kind of like that. That's
It's
kind
talking
of
about the online sale to kids.
That's like nature. That's like nature.
I'm talking about children though.
You sound like should you be able to buy this on
Yeah,
Amazon since kids can buy it since
There's
it's
too
dual
many
use?
kids nowadays anyway.
So hold on. We need to dig into this. So kids can buy it. So you're saying kids with debit cards and credit cards can order boxes
or an Amazon
Hold
gift
on,
card.
I'm not done yet. But they can order it on Amazon, have it shipped to their house, and then their parents will not catch them huffing cans upon cans upon cans of nitrous oxide, doing whippets.
Tell them.
Yeah.
It's very possible, especially those
It's
at-risk children who, for example, don't have parents that are particularly there for them.
Yes.
Well,
And I do want to point out that the videos.
Or our second topic gets into the point of why you kind of should care if you're
maybe.
Yeah, but with and then I think that's kind of where we're cutting to is the at-risk kids. I don't think banning whippets is the solution. I think the solution is like fixing the rest of the equation.
Age gated
at-risk kids. Age gate whippets?
Yeah, age gate. You should. There's no reason why a child should be ordering nitrous oxide off the internet.
What about lighter fluid?
What if they're bakers?
The child baker, yeah.
No.
There's a whole show that.
Then they can get their guardian to order it for them and use it under supervised conditions.
That's exactly.
There we go. Hey, listen, I've just got to come at you from the other side.
Yeah, any kid who's running like a business or doing bakery or they're like baking for their local bake sale or some crap like that, they should have a parent in their life that they can say, "Hey, can you order this for me? I'm using it for X, Y, Z, ABC reason."
Hold on. So, actually, which one of these are being ordered out off Amazon? Because earlier it was the ones being sold at smoke shops. Now it's all the ones at Amazon, right? So, is it the ones specialized? The ones
right
the
now.
smoke shops?
So they sell them.
They regular nitrous.
No, they
like
sell them.
Nitrous.
They sell them on Amazon. Well, right now, they're all sold out on Amazon. Well, actually, never mind. Wait. They just came into.
You can get many. You can get many overnight delivery.
Yeah. They just came back on. Okay,
That's
so they
insane.
were out of just like a couple hours ago. They were unavailable. Their website they're entirely out of stock, so they're selling quickly.
It's okay. There's different brands.
I'm talking specifically at Galaxy Gas because all the videos I can find on YouTube, by the way, of this specific brand, every single one of them is a minority child. All right, and it's like this is not good. This is not good. There's no oversight.
Have you seen this lactoid? Have you guys seen Bump, which is the snortable caffeine? You buy it in a little. I'm gonna send the link to you guys right now.
Okay, yeah, the Christian nationalism time. Ban that. 100%. Yeah.
Counterpoints.
Well, yeah. So
check that link out.
The whippets or whatever. I wanted to share a slightly personal story. I used to work with a kitchen crew member at a hippie pizzeria. We all did all sorts of drugs, weed, acid, all that kind of stuff. But there was a kid. He was probably 5 years older than me, something like that. And he got addicted to whippets. And you're like, Connor, that's ridiculous. Who gets addicted to whippets? Well, apparently this guy did. And he did it for like 10, 15 years. And he would like relapse and stop. He finally died at like 42.
Yeah. Fuck. Wait. So you can easily get addicted to whippets. I am someone that is probably my favorite drug of choice. That's why I don't do it and don't go anywhere near it. The high is super short-lived. So you're like, as you're coming down, you like instantly want more, and you could go through like 50 cans in a night and not even like notice it. Very fucking dangerous, like little gas to play with.
Well, and that's what happened was, so literally in 2003 or 2004, this guy comes over to like a house party that I'm hanging out at, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to do some whippets, bro?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what?
Yeah.
I want to do whippets. What the hell is wrong with you?" And then literally, like, this guy just got addicted. And then what Sociologic just said is they would catch him because they would keep giving him jobs, like trying to help him out, trying to get him on his feet, all that kind of stuff. He would like sober up for a little bit, and then he would fall back, and they would find him passed out at his house with dozens of cans around him until eventually they just found him dead.
And Lactoid, to your point, why I'm saying it's not like a mouthpiece that it's on. So like when you originally would buy them, you'd buy the Whippets the little cans. When you put them in the whipped cream canister thingy, that's what people would fucking do them out of anyways. Like, so
yeah, it's block the.
Well, people usually did them with balloons.
Supposed to come out.
So because the balloons is actually like, this is getting like into, so people would buy tanks, like actual dental tanks.
But hold on. Why are we stopping
and fill up the balloons?
Because children are doing it.
Listen,
Stop the children. Save the children.
Have like 14, 15-year-olds
Aren't you like
doing
eating
this shit.
cheeseburgers and doing cocaine?
Yeah,
like
that's
3
what I'm
hours
saying.
ago?
That's
Like,
what I'm saying. Like,
where is your judgment
exactly?
coming from?
That's my point. Why are we stopping this? They're like, listen, let people do what they want, and it'll take care of themselves. Like y'all don't like what I hold on. Y'all don't like what I have to say. The cocaine and cheeseburgers will kill me.
Like, Gibbs, do you ever plan on having kids?
Pay taxes
at some point. But I guess what? Listen, that's we'll bring back whoopings for them. They're not going to be doing it. Yeah, I know, but if they die, then they don't have to pay taxes. They're dead.
Listen, he said something messed up, but I would think that sometimes as a former law enforcement officer, I would be like, this drug addict is having a rough time, but if they go too far with it, then they're no longer a problem.
Yeah, it doesn't. It like solves itself. And like the other thing is y'all are hurting business owners. Like, why would y'all want to hurt the economy like this? Like,
well, hold on, Gibbs. All right, hold on. Moving.
Brain damaged children hurt the economy. I'm going to make that point.
Very
salient point.
Well, we clearly think brain damage.
But if they are addicted and then they're sitting outside of businesses, then they're hurting.
Listen,
businesses.
we're gonna call it. Hold on.
You can just shoot him in his world.
We're gonna just call this. We're gonna call this social contagion. All right, it's just another social contagion, and it's just just damaging them. Right? Cool. We're just addicting them. Whatever. That's great. That means they're stimulating the economy. They're gonna keep buying this. They found their fix. They're gonna be happy.
Yeah, but when they're broke because they don't have a job, and then they're just outside begging you to buy them their gas.
They're not gonna get it from me. I'm gonna be like,
well, I'm should have done more. You're gonna be annoyed when
they're gonna take welfare. They're gonna vote Democrat, and then they're gonna take welfare, and then you're gonna be out money.
No, I'm just going to choose to go to places with private security to kick them off.
I was never more Democrat.
They're going to vote in Kamala Harris, who's going to send in the cops to stop your private security, and then they're going to charge you all your money.
25%.
Well, that
on unrealized gains. Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up because guess what happened today? I don't know if you know what happened. They tried to tell Texas that we had to give Fronten Island back to Mexico, and Greg Abbott told them to go fuck themselves.
What?
Fronten Island. Yeah,
so an island.
Yeah, we took an island from Mexico. It's recently too.
Is Mexico like its own little world? Because like you guys just do random shit.
Yeah, they basically it was like Cartel Island in the middle of the Rio Grande, and they were using it as like a base of operations and shit. And Mexico went, and like the United States and wouldn't do nothing. So Texas sent like the Texas Rangers and the Texas like National Guard to clear it out and get over. Nah, we're over here fighting other countries. Y'all over here playing piddly dicks. We're telling y'all we got problems down here, and y'all are like, immigration. It's not real. We're literally fighting over islands. And you're like, it's not a problem.
I've been to Texas. You love immigrants. What are you talking about?
We like immigrants. We don't like the cartels.
Think about this.
There are a handful of people that love the cartels. I'll tell you what.
Well, sure.
Gibbs.
The club owners, but
all the Whippet users are going to vote in the people. They're going to let the cartels into the country, and then we're fucked.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Gibbs is pro-cartel. What's wrong with club owners and cartels? It's just capitalism.
This is what actually happens. So if you have this laissez-faire attitude, then what ends up happening is pretty much what happened in Baltimore, right? You have people who are openly consuming drugs, you have people who are openly selling drugs, and then the cops stop giving a shit. And then what happens is you have entire blocks of people who are drug zombies just wandering around. They destroy the local businesses.
They don't vote,
as a result, but then people vote Democrat to try to give them social services to get them off of the block. But then you
got to get them off the streets.
It's an endless money pit that never solves itself.
It's at least a propaganda tool. They get to use it. Look, we're going to get these people off the streets.
Right. Whereas the Republican answer is, we'll let them kill themselves.
I wish more people thought that way, frankly, because like I've seen.
You
so
will let them kill themselves?
Well, in some extent, right? Because I've saw this on, like, I've been looking at the numbers, like in Portland, for example, and recently you're seeing some political blowback to the decision to, in effect, decriminalize a lot of drugs. But the reality is, like, when you look at the actual numbers, like Portland's policy implementations on drugs has not really been all that bad, right? There is an uptick of drug usage, but it's more or less in line with an uptick of drug usage throughout the entire country, right? There's kind of a epidemic occurring. So, but people will point to like it being very visible in certain locations. Oh, look, like it's really happening here. But the numbers don't demonstrate that, right? I understand that you could find certain streets where people look like zombies or whatever. But at the same time, like, are we really going to like go off of just, I saw this video, AKA now here's what we need for policy? I just don't like it that people think that way.
This is my frustration though. So I think that if you actually took a proactive role, ban drugs, like Switzerland for an example, right? Heroin is still illegal, but they do have like shoot up clinics, but the shoot up clinics are like the necessary dose in order for people to function. And then the entire thing is like start to finish, like it's a jobs program. They get you put into places, like all that kind of stuff. They make sure you have housing, et cetera, et cetera. And there are a lot of people who are still using, but they're using the minimum amount in order to not have withdrawals. And then they're getting their lives together. That to me is infinitely preferable compared to like your Darwinian thing, which I understand like statistically, whatever, but the Darwinian thing is happening. I'm in Central Florida. I'm 45 minutes north of Orlando. If I go downtown to Orlando, there's a few blocks that are the party blocks. That's great. That's awesome. As soon as you get off of those, it's just dozens upon dozens of people just sleeping outside, wasted, high on drugs, panhandling, and they get into fights and shit. And it's like, why would I want to live in a city?
You know how you solve that though? We solved it here in many cities in Texas, and some of the cities that haven't solved it.
Put them somewhere else.
Yeah, you ship them to California.
New York. You insert camping bans.
Yeah,
I thought Austin had like a really bad...
Yeah, that just moves it around. We're a whole country.
It's a huge success story.
Texas isn't the only part of the country. We are a whole country. This is a nationwide issue.
Hold on, Ghosty.
Oh, I might move because I have like a weird echo. Can you guys hear that?
Well, you can
background number 20.
Move.
Yeah, she was talking about Austin. She was talking about Austin. Austin did.
Are your servants making too much noise down there? You should punish them.
I was gonna say I thought Austin had a really bad homeless problem though.
Yeah, so actually it ties to two things. It's good so Austin did ban camping. They got rid of it because there were so many sexual assaults from the homeless population that it was a major issue and they banned it. Well, here's the kicker. So whenever there was all those protests recently with the Palestine protests, Austin, was one of the cities where people got mad. Well, the protesters said, "We're not moving, we're camping, we don't care." And that's kind of a hot button issue in Austin when they just got rid of camping due to all the essays. So they were like, "Oh, we're going to send in the Texas National Guard to clear you out," and it ended up on the news. But nobody wanted to talk about that other background issue that had been a previous thing, which is why camping.
Well, wait, those people have a place why they go. So like,
why don't we just actually
Palestinian protesters? But what
why
about
don't we just
the homeless
ban
people
camping?
that don't?
Why don't we punish the actual crime?
Camping. Yeah, we banned camping in all major cities nationwide. That's what we should.
Punish the crime of doing drugs?
No. It seems to me, and this is like where my perpetual libertarian side shines through here. It seems to me that when people talk about like drug legislation, they're always using it in reference to something else. Oh, if they get addicted to drugs, they're going to steal. Oh, if they get addicted to drugs, they're going to commit sexual assault. Why not, right? Like punish those crimes incredibly heavily, right? Bring down the hammer on thieves and rapists. But then when it comes to adults who like want to, I don't know, huff nitrous gas in the privacy of their own home, which is like, not recommended, just to be clear. Like, who am I to say no? You as a human being, person, a sovereign adult who we may draft and send into battle at some point. You're not allowed to do that because we can't trust you, motherfucker.
Welcome back.
Like my life is perpetually at the service of the U.S. government, and they don't trust me enough to like huff nitrous gas? What the fuck?
Oh, actually,
yeah, it makes you worse at perpetually serving the government.
Yeah.
I want to hear what Corey says, and Connor. Then I'll respond to that too.
I mean, Connor pretty much summarized it. Like, the government doesn't want brain damaged soldiers, just as it's in the government interest to not have, just to have an overweight and obese population because that's a national security threat.
Oh, so should the government mandate that like I go do sit-ups every fucking?
Yeah.
Whoa. So okay, we got counterpoint. Yeah. Okay, we got big government over here saying that
we kind of do right in the school.
We do
for children. I'm also fine with not selling nitrous oxide to children.
Wait. What are you doing with children? You're trying to instill them with the value. You're trying to indoctrinate the value of like being healthy. So
I'm fine with all that.
Force your citizens
I'm fine with all that.
When
it comes to children, I'm fine with treating children paternalistically because they're children. That's what we do.
Probably have to do PE as well.
But when it comes, I don't think so. No. When it comes to people over, if I can get drafted and go die in some sandy hellhole, then I should also have the right to not have to do push-ups if I don't want to. Okay.
If you can take $40,000 in student loans, you should have to be like a certain fitness to continue.
Wait a minute, people in the military shouldn't have to do push-ups.
If you join the military, I'm saying if I got drafted, right? Being drafted is fundamentally different. Like people talk shit about like Trump being a draft dodger, but I mean draft dodgers, I think are especially when it comes to like moral people.
If you get drafted, you shouldn't have to be physically fit.
No. He's saying beforehand. He's saying
beforehand. Like the fact that the government trusts me.
But you're a child beforehand.
I'm talking about right now at age, my current age. Okay, I am.
No one's gonna draft you at your age.
Okay, if I was 5 years younger, where I potentially would be drafted, okay. But explain to me, give me the the logic here, okay?
Wait,
I can be sent to a jungle.
I want to give the logic as somebody who did go to the dusty and dirty, shitty hellhole and has to share the fucking country with all you goddamn liberals and libertarians. Holy fucking shit! All right, I'm not a liberal. I'm not a libertarian. I'm a communitarian, which means that I believe that in the individual. But
is this a new thing?
No, it's not a new thing. As a matter of fact, it's the midpoint between collectivism and individualism.
He's all about communes.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Shut up. I actually want to get like a real idea out here, just in case some kid at home is thinking that they shouldn't do sit-ups and they should do whippets based off of you dumbasses ranting. Okay, so let me get a real idea out here. No, we are not born alone. We don't die alone. We work in a community. We have doctors, we have nurses, we have cops, we have firefighters, we have families, we have communities, we have churches. We take care of each other. And what you should want to do, rather than being a hedonistic libertine douchebag, snorting brown and eating fucking cows endlessly because you think it's your God-given right, or doing whippets endlessly because it's your right as an American or whatever the fuck, you should be trying to make yourself the best human being possible. You should be physically capable. You should be capable of handling your own security. You should be a healthy member of your community. You should have ambitions that you pursue, and you should be trying to become the best human being that you possibly can. And that should be the culture that we should be trying to foster, instead of saying that actually the peak of humanity is having a shitload of money and then just doing drugs and eating like a fucking fat ass.
Nobody's saying that we shouldn't strive for those goals. What we're saying is that there's something antithetical with having some entity telling you that you have to, right?
Yeah.
Because if some entity tells you that you have to, well,
I'd actually say
because are you what does it mean to be an individual? What does it mean to have rights over your body? What does bodily autonomy mean? When people are out there chanting "my body, my choice," what are they trying to get at? It means
buying a motorcycle.
It means buying a motorcycle.
Or libertarian.
It means buying a motorcycle. It means that there is something about me that I have self-ownership, and you can reject self-ownership.
You don't.
When you're on drugs, you don't have self-ownership of your body all the time.
If I put the drugs in there,
certain drugs you don't. So
did I put them in there? If I put them in there, then I made that decision, didn't I?
Yeah, it's buyer's.
I've reserved the right while on my drugs to have
by self-ownership.
Okay, I'm addicted to riding a motorcycle. Like, have I lost agency?
No, I mean
Probably.
You can.
If you have a physical addiction to something, like you're not willingly making that choice anymore, and then it's like severely debilitating.
Well, hold on. You chose to do it in the first place.
No, wait.
You did choose
Yeah,
to do it in
hold
the
on.
first place.
Just because you get buyer's remorse doesn't mean you didn't buy the cow. Like, I'm sorry. That's exactly how it works.
Hold on, guys. Guys, come on. This is not too hard. Like what she's saying is simple. Yes, you can have agency to take a drug, at least initially, right? You can make the active decision to do that. But then after you take the drug, especially once you get addicted, that agency starts to disappear, where you really aren't in control of your actions anymore, right? And then society has to step in, or the chemical consequences will step in, and you'll die.
Horrible shit.
Yeah,
but
like,
hold
and
on,
then
you're
going
taking
back
away
to
from the fact they chose to do it in the first place. Like,
Sorry,
if you choose, listen, I understand what you're saying. I completely get that. Like, once you do something, it will change you mentally and physically and cause you to like need this item, right? But here's my argument. Check it out. I think it's even simpler than yours. You took that on your own volition, and once you do that, it's like whatever comes along with those choices, you're along for the ride. Now, maybe you didn't think you'd get addicted off one hit, but guess what? You did. But like, no, I'm sorry. That's the like. I listen. I like to party. Right, I like to party. I know the risks when I sign up. If I like rail a bad line and I die from heart attack, guess what? Buyer beware. I'm sorry. Like, that's the choices you're making. You know what you. If I die of a heart attack from eating too much steak, choices beware.
I unfortunately agree individually, man. But like out to the world, man, there's a lot of I don't prescribe that to the world, man. Like the ability for people to get fucked over in like small ways just because of a small decision that they made. That, by the way, is really pushed on you from like a young age. It's not like partying and all these things aren't like necessarily pushed through TV, through media, through music. You're kind of growing up. Everyone wants to party, especially like if you're getting into the college era. A huge part of even moving or going to college is to have that like social experience of being able to party. Frat life and party life and college parties are like a huge aspect of it. So like, I want
to hold on.
It's pretty normalized, is what I'm saying.
Counter afterwards, right? So I want to just like backtrack a little bit to what our friend Lactwood asked previously, talking about punishing the crime, right, rather than like doing the drug. So like punishing stealing or sexual assault. Well, we already do those things, right? And if we're talking about drug addicted people doing things, right, who are out of their minds, well, then simply upping up the punishment, it's not going to do anything. Like, these people clearly aren't thinking straight, so you can't like have them make a rational calculations. Oh, maybe this will be a bad idea. They're fucking high, right? And they're not known for these things.
The punishment can involve taking away the drugs. I think that's reasonable, right? If you do drugs and then fuck up and do something bad, we can say, okay, because you did the bad thing, we're punishing you for this. And if you could do the drugs without doing the bad thing, we wouldn't punish you. But you did the bad thing. Okay. So now you got to go into a cage, and now you can't do your drugs anymore, right? That seems pretty reasonable.
I mean, but drug drug addicts don't like think in those terms. I hear you what you're saying.
And an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. You're talking about dumping pounds of cure on people when an ounce of prevention would work. And here's the thing. So my stepfather-in-law, he works in drug rehabilitation, and every single thing that you guys are saying are the opposite of what is told to junkies who actually get clean. What they are told is you have to have radical self-ownership. You have to find a purpose. You have to have discipline. You have to have physical fitness. You have to take your job seriously. You have to be responsible.
You got to fill your life.
You can't take shortcuts.
You got to fill your life up.
You can't have this like libertine, oh, well, if they do it, it doesn't really affect me.
No,
nobody.
You
have to surround yourself with people who care and actually think that these things are bad.
Wait, let me read, because you're missing the, like, hold on. Nobody here disagrees that you should eat your broccoli. It is a good thing. It is a good thing if you eat your broccoli. It's a good thing for me if you eat your broccoli, because then you're probably going to use less Medicare, right? Great. Everybody should eat their broccoli. But what we're saying is, when we're talking about an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, we can look at the ramifications of what that prevention does. If we want to talk about like these kind of enforcement mechanisms, we don't even necessarily have to get into like the practical considerations of the drug war and all these other enforcement mechanisms. We can also just talk about like the necessary implications of this prevention whenever you ban like an adult from doing something, which is that you ban people who wouldn't have a problem with it from having the option to do it in the first place. People talk about my motorcycle, right? I do like to ride a motorcycle. This is a decision that I make that could very well have potential permanent outcomes, permanent negative outcomes, right? Whether death or serious paralysis or neurological injury.
Lactoid being a smear on the road. Yeah, go
Yes,
ahead.
there's all sorts of negative things that could happen. What Gibbs is making the argument is that jumping on that motorcycle for the first time is arguably the same as shooting up the drugs for the first time. It is possible that I could die in that first time I get in the motorcycle. It's also possible that you can get addicted to the drugs the first time you use it. But like a kind of permanent outcome is still the risk that you consent to as an adult when you take that action. Nobody should do dangerous things ideally. Everyone should eat their broccoli ideally. But that it's unrealistic to assume that people are going to be making those decisions, or that even if you have people who can control these things, that they should necessarily be expected to if they're able to resist that.
Should there be a negative cultural pressure on risky behavior?
There should be a negative pressure. There should be a pressure, but it should be flexible. The pressure should be flexible when we're talking about people who have demonstrated an issue. So if you really like weed and you have no job, you live in your parents' basement and you can't get shit done, I'm fine with doing a lot of negative pressure on you when it comes to buying more drugs. But let's say you have like a high-powered corporate lawyer. I've met these people, and they're really into weed, right? And they're able to keep their job, and they've done it for the past 10 years. Maybe like a little bit of negative pressure. Hey, you probably shouldn't be doing that. But like at the end of the day, I'm not really justified in like putting forth a ton of pressure because this person can obviously handle their business.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's kind of dovetails on what you were saying, counterpoints, right? Is that what I understand, and it could be wrong because the person saying it was kind of like a bit reactionary, right? But like they said, like the problem with the Oregon experiment, which I supported, like decriminalizing drugs across the board. I definitely supported that. They say their implementation of this was different from Portugal's, in that there wasn't enough stigma, right, attached to the action. I think that stigma is very important. Drugs are bad, kids. Like, don't do drugs. For a variety of reasons. And Electra, I think you agree with this, right?
Do drugs between 16 and 25 and then quit.
Drugs are really awful.
Beer is bad too. Yeah.
And it needs to be told, like, and said, right? Like if you're doing drugs out in public, right? That's a problem. You need to be pushed out, right? So like maybe like we don't arrest them for for shooting up, right? But hey, if you're being a public nuisance, if you're endangering people, if you're loitering around businesses and doing damage to the community, that's not okay. Go somewhere else or get in jail. And if you if we're saying that we take the stance that like, okay, you can do the drugs, but you got to get cleaned up, well, then you need to put action behind it. There are consequences if you don't like go to a drug treatment program. All these things are negative pressure.
If they committed a crime, an actual crime.
Or yeah, I guess if it's maybe a crime related to the
we all understand this, and even like the most big government people, they understand this when it comes to alcohol, right? Arguably one of the most dangerous drugs, right? I mean, most people here probably know somebody who's lost, either like they themselves have lost a family member due to alcoholism, or they know somebody who has, and or DUIs or drunk, et cetera, et cetera. There's and violence and all sorts of shit. And so, but yet we don't ban alcohol. What we do is we say, like, if you're an adult, you can do it now, 21, I guess, but still, right? Most adults can do it. But if you fuck up, then you're held responsible for that. And as part of your punishment, you may have to give up the alcohol, like AODA and stuff, which I'm fine with. And they should be the same thing with whippets, right? Whippets, like if you're an adult and you want to do that, I think it's weird, but sure, right? But like, just don't fuck up.
So this is where I fundamentally disagree. So the whole reason why alcohol is not a banned substance is because most people can be economically productive while still addicted to alcohol. And same thing with marijuana. The reason why there's not a particularly large stigma around marijuana is because, like you were saying, there's a whole bunch of high-powered people, professionals or whatever, who can do marijuana. And then the reason why we stigmatize cocaine or heroin or these harder drugs is because, one, the chances for addiction are higher, but then two, the chances of something bad happening, like an overdose or a heart attack or a stroke or whatever, all those risks are increased. And so the stigmatization is not because of like alcohol is good or whatever. It's because people can be semi-functional members of society while doing the drugs. Heroin, as an example, I do not think that that actually, according to some people, rich heroin addicts can get by, but poor heroin addicts, they fucking can't, because it just consumes their entire life. And so there's no world in which I would want to be permissive of heroin just because you're not only destroying that person's life who becomes addicted to it and dedicates their entire world to a drug, you're destroying their entire social circle, particularly if they have family and if they're a critical part of the family.
So let me add this, and then I'm going to go to Ali. Right? Let me just add this one thing, because I like a lot of the things you said. Counterpoints. I guess what I would add there, what I modify a bit there, is that it's less being permissive. It's, I think, more changing the way we look at it. Right, rather than looking at it primarily through a law enforcement lens, I would look at it through a health crisis lens, and like we would be dealing with the behaviors around drug use. Right. So we'd say that this is a thing that people are doing. How can we encourage them not to do so? How can we get them into treatment? How can we make sure that they follow those treatment plans?
With the Portuguese model, real quick, with the Portuguese model, that was one of the things where it was really effective for like a half decade or a decade, but they had an off ramp for addicts that was state eligible. And so they got a bunch of addicts off of the program and actually decreased usage. But what ended up happening is a bunch of fiscal conservatives, a bunch of fucking assholes, started arguing that the programs were inefficient because they were government-run programs that had empty beds. And so they canceled all the government-run programs, and then they outsourced it to the private sector. And then the private sector has the incentive to fill the beds. And so as a result, everything got infinitely fucking worse.
I remember, I agree. That's my understanding of what happened in the Portuguese model too. But yeah, so it needs to be a health crisis where you're moving away from any sort of like private incentive, right? Or even like a NGO incentive, because they operate in very similar things, right? Like the problem has to continue for them to justify their situation. Exactly. They get grants. So I think it's as a shift, right? Not being permissive of these things, but again, there has to be some sort of stigma, right? You can't have like drug users just like gathering around in parks because you have a bunch of people high off their minds. They're going to do something awful. It's just going to happen, right? And so if we could take that stance, but also not say, well, we're going to put all these people in jail again unless they commit a crime.
As a former law enforcement officer, I'll be the first to tell you, putting somebody in a cell does nothing besides get them dry and ruin their life a little bit. That's all it does. So like, I'm not for incarceration just because you're in possession of drugs. It's all the correlated behaviors. And I wanted to say this earlier, but everybody's really passionate tonight. So the correlated behaviors, I'm kind of with Lactoid, where I wish you could just punish the correlated behaviors. But part of the problem is like evidence and proof and being able to prove something. If you have somebody who has a controlled substance like heroin or cocaine in their possession, you can literally say, they got it, I'm taking them to jail, they're going to jail. And then as a result, you dried them out at least for the day or whatever. Whereas if you have something like trespassing, where they're there for a few hours and then they leave and then you don't catch them or whatever, then at that point it can become a repeat issue where you have to be there, you have to catch them, you have to issue the citation, you have to identify them, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, we have a system where you should have to prove the person did the crime. This is the biggest concern I have. I did a ride along with a cop who said this very thing. That he said the reason why I want weed to stay illegal was not because I care about weed, but he said because if I smell it, now that's probable cause. Now I can search you. Now I can stop. Now I can stop you.
About that.
Well, but this is the concern, right? And I think this is what's kind of led, because the drug war has led to this sort of police state that we've been experiencing, and I think that's more problematic.
Let's let Ali in. Yeah.
So just like so from the perspective of the drug addict, so I was addicted to pills a while ago. So luckily I got to avoid, not going to rehab, and I worked myself out, and I, weaned off. Took about 1.5 years. So the issue with like drugs for I wouldn't say a lot, but a nice portion of addicts is they don't all come from just like recreational use. It's not just like, oh, they wanted to do this. A lot of them have suffered an injury and now they're addicted to pills like opioids, and then it ends up leading to like heroin because the pills that you're addicted to you can't afford it per pill because the pills get expensive, your tolerance is high, whatever it may be. Xanax addiction is pretty prevalent, and then also you can't necessarily just stop doing these drugs. So like if you have a Xanax addiction, you have to wean off or you are like high risk for seizures, much like alcohol. You can't just like stop drinking out of nowhere.
And dying. Just FYI. Xanax, like benzodiazepines, if you stop them abruptly, you can die from the withdrawal.
That was my thing. It took a year and a half for me to fucking wean off that shit. I was not risking a seizure for nothing.
And here's the thing. I take a pill, Cymbalta or whatever. I take it for nerve pain and I take it for mental shit. But if I don't have that for like a day or two or whatever, I get like brain zaps, I get fucking headaches, I get vertigo, I get the spins or whatever. So if I take that and I'm an economically functional person, I take care of my family, I take care of my friends, I take care of my job, I do my thing. Like it's functional for me because it literally doesn't do anything to me. But if I had the same withdrawal symptoms, but the drug made me sit on ass for 12 hours drooling, get the fuck out of here. You are never escaping that hole.
Well, yeah, so I escaped, luckily.
Or, excuse me, it's a very difficult hole to escape.
That's the point I wanted to prove. So to your point, and like against Lactoid's point, so like if you're already in a world where you're doing these types of pills, punishment means fucking nothing to you, all right? I was going to the worst parts of my city, or the city, and risking going to jail off of purchasing something, getting caught up purchasing, and coming back with like possession, a whole, you're willing to risk anything because at the end of the day, like, yeah, it's not that you're not thinking. It's that you're not trying to go through withdrawal. Shit's a fucking mess. And once again, it doesn't start from a recreational place from all the times. A lot of the times it starts from a medical place. So, the issue is, like, I realized that I was a fucking drain on society. I was literally doing jack shit, right? Which is like, but negative reinforcement wasn't going to do anything. That's what got me there in the first place. I did need a place of support. I did need a place. Now I didn't go the government route. I luckily was able to like go to my friends, talk to them, but I wasn't able to go to my family because you can't go to your, like 9 times out of 10, you can't go to your parents and be like, hey, I'm addicted to this thing, and not have them freak the fuck out instead of actually tackle the issue. They're going to sit there and blame themselves. Oh, what did I do? I fucked up. That's going to turn into their own anxiety. They're not going to be able to tackle that issue. What was I going to do? I wasn't going to go to the police and tell them. And it's not like I was like thinking of going to a rehab clinic that I couldn't fucking afford, much less like I can't take time off of work. Right, I have to work to afford these. So like I had to have my friends. We had to all sit. It was a whole thing. I did have to build a community of people that were like there to look out for me. Luckily, a lot of my friends are in the medical field. They're doctors. So like it was like a little bit easier to like work with. But yeah, like to the point of like I had that support. I was able to get myself out. That's cool, fine and dandy for me. But I don't get to look at myself and be like, well, look at me. I'm so strong. I got out of it. What about these? These people aren't losers. These people are in a place where, like, yes, it's the below average are a part. Once again, the below average and average are a part of the country that you have to take into account because they, to your point, they are a part of the community. They are a drain on the community one way or another, whether it be familial or it's literally financial. Either way, so you do have to take them into consideration. We can't just discount them every single time.
Nobody's discounting
that's what
them.
Looking at it as a health crisis is part of, right? Because what you said, like. Part of that, not like just like handing out medicine. It's saying that, well, like what is the support mechanisms we can put in place to help these people, right?
Yeah.
So I love what you said. I'm glad that you got yourself, fixed up and here and you're alive, right? But like it's like reframing the problem and saying, okay, so we first we say, hey, don't do this, right? But then someone's going to do it. It is what it is, right? And then from there, we're like, okay, let's get support systems around them, get them in treatment plans, but also be able to bring in their community, their community circles. Okay, if this person's having a problem, I know you're going to have all kinds of feelings about this person doing this thing, but it's happened. And if you care about them, here's the steps we can do to support them, to get them out of it. That's the way to do this, at least my opinion. But yeah, Connor.
Yeah, so I need conservatives, I need fiscal conservatives and social conservatives to hear me when I say this, okay? What's happened over the past 40 or 50 years, partially because of deregulation and globalization, is that we are in a K economy. What's happened is if you have a skill, then you can make a few $100 grand a year and your life is going to be pretty good. Okay. That's a class of people. But for most people, what's happened is a shitload of their jobs have either stagnated or dropped in value to society. And nobody gives a fuck about these people. Nobody gives a fuck about people who work at Taco Bell. Nobody gives a fuck about Walmart workers. Nobody cares about people who work in fast food, retail, restaurant, whatever. And so what ends up happening is those people are making so little money and they're working so many hours. It doesn't matter how many hours they work. They are still fucked. And so as a result, they start looking for escapes like drugs. They start doing drugs, and then they become less economically productive members of society. And you have all the things that correlate with like working class, fucked up families, right? So what I'm saying is that if you want a socially conservative society, if you want married couples, if you want children, if you want economically productive people, then it is better to give people a dignified life up front so they're not dying of deaths of despair or addictions and becoming drains on society. It's easier to do that up front than to try to save them on the back end.
Cheaper.
Go ahead, Gibbs.
Yeah, so all I'm hearing this whole time while I'm hearing all these sad stories is, I'm hearing, you know, I'm actually going to argue for something socialist in a second, so maybe but it's Lactoid inspired. So, but you know, all I'm hearing is the world's smallest violin. I'm hearing all these sad stories every time.
Actually has one.
I did, and it plays. But it's the thing is, I'm just sitting here, I'm hearing them, and I'm like, listen, y'all chose to do this. So here's the so I don't have any sympathy for you.
Gibbs.
I'm sorry.
I got a question for you. How did you start your first business? How did you secure the financing for your first business?
I worked at Wingstop for 80 hours a week and Eddie Bar for 30 hours a week.
And how much money did you secure? And who did you secure your money from? And for what business?
Wells Fargo, and it was for a promotional company.
A promotional company. What did you promote?
I promoted DJs and DJ events and services. So we provided DJs for like weddings and wedding venues or house parties or whatnot. And that was my very first business I started. And then I sold that in 2012, and I got a leather producing company.
Can I ask you how much your first loan from Wells Fargo was?
Like $20K.
All right. Okay. Never mind. You passed the test.
Promotion.
I mean,
the dunk denied.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like,
listen. If he no, I'll just say what happened. Okay, Gibbs told me his backstory a little bit, and it sounded a little vague in the past. The last time I asked, but I didn't want to press because you don't want to be rude to a motherfucker, right? But when you kind of follow up with people or whatever, like the more vague it gets, kind of the more suspicious it gets, right? Like if you're like, oh, I don't know, I did this, I did that, et cetera, et cetera. That's when I start thinking that like mommy and daddy spotted you your first, $1 million for your business.
My parents
or
are
whatever
broke as fuck. They were broke as fuck all life.
So what I'm saying is that if you had that entrepreneurial spirit to actually take 2 jobs, turn it into a good enough credit score that you got a loan, turn it into a business, sold the business, leverage the equity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I still hate 90% of your fucking takes, but at least you have the balls.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Wait, having your parents help is not entrepreneurial spirit just because you got the loan from someone else?
It's a lot different than if I go to my daddy and do a Donald Trump and I get a small loan of $1 million.
A small loan of $1 million.
Yeah, what if it's a small loan of $15,000? It's not $1 million. Not every parent has $1 million.
Who take money from their family. I'm trying to say it's what you turn it into. I have more respect for people who take a little bit and turn it into a lot instead of people who just take.
Connor, I got a question for you. This was actually proposed by a friend of mine who's very well.
Well, Gibbs never finished his point.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, so I was actually going to take the idea that Lactoid had recently. You know, he talked about the only way we can do punish our legal slavery is the penal system, right? We can have that, and that'll solve. So what we could do is, if y'all want to have all these programs where we help meth addicts and heroin addicts and whatnot, and you want to fine, let's have them, but let's make sure that they're required to work 80 hours a week. They can even be on meth while they're doing it. Right? So like if they're going to be out there, they're working. They can be like digging ditches. They can be methed out all they want. Yeah, I'm saying maybe they're being listen, you can do other drugs too. Like, listen, heroin addicts, if they're good at hitting the veins, we can make them phlebotomists. I'm sure they're going to need IVs at the centers. Right. I'm like sure they need people to draw blood. Like, we already know they how to hit a vein. So, like, how much
dangerous?
I'm just saying we can retrain them
in the middle of doing
we
it
can,
or anything.
We can retrain them, and they can be productive members
with their
of society.
shaky hands. With their
You're
shaky
just
hands.
you're kind of just missing the point.
Kids will be
Yeah,
there
instead
for
of looking
patients, though.
is
That's
instead
the
of
thing.
looking at these
You have to
addicts
go
as just
straight to
like
them for
worthless,
care.
look at their strengths and try to train their strengths and encourage them that way. That you're almost there, Gibbsy.
I'm just saying.
You're
I think
almost
we
there.
got something here.
I want to ask.
20% of the time they hit the vein 100% of the time. Good idea.
I want to
go ahead. Like that.
Yeah, I want to ask real quick. Under kind of what you've been saying, I'm curious if you would back this proposal, because I have a friend who's very wealthy, and he's a habitual smoker. He smokes like 2 packs a day. And he said that there should be like when you go to buy these things, you should have to bring proof of income, like with like a rental. You got to prove that you make a certain amount, and then they'll sell it to you. Like they can only sell it if you make more than amount. So like for example, you have to make a certain amount of money to have access to alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, etc. And you can buy anything, but you have to prove you make enough money. Would you be in favor of a system like this?
No, I'm not.
Why not?
Because you're not going to pay people enough to fucking be able to afford these things. So no.
And people will get it
It has nothing to
anyways.
do with that. It has nothing to do with that. So are you talking about your friend tobacco or marijuana? What are we talking about?
He's a tobacco. Well, yeah, he's a tobacco smoker. He smokes 2 packs a day, and he thinks that cigarettes, he thinks poor people should not be allowed to buy cigarettes. Only people like him, who he calls superior, should be able to buy cigarettes.
Yeah, and how old is this guy?
Probably close to my age, roughly, like late 20s.
Okay, so I think your friend has a god complex and he's a fucking moron. So I don't care how much money he has. Is he married?
No, I don't think so.
Does he have kids?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Does he plan to get married or have kids?
No.
Then to me, he's failed. Already, just failed.
Yeah, just
wait. So all of this, okay, sure, you can talk about genetic dead ends all you want, but all you guys are all hand wringing before about how these poor people, they get into drugs because they just feel poor and then they don't know how to claw their way out of it. At the very least, by the way, I'm not in favor of this kind of proposal because I think it violates fundamental human sovereignty. But if you guys don't care about that, which any kind of big government person doesn't care about that, the idea here is you could control for that group of people just by saying hey, if you want to do heroin, you got to prove at least 6 figures. And then if you lose your job and your income drops below 6 figures, then you can't do drugs anymore. Then you can't buy the drugs anymore.
Yeah,
it's not that easy though. It's not that easy to just stop doing heroin.
Where are you going to get it? The stores aren't going to sell it to you.
That's not the point he's coming from. He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
The stores aren't
going to sell the heroin. You got to bring the up-to-date income statement, right? They're not going to.
There is something to this though, because it sounds like what this guy is talking about is means testing lung cancer.
Double Mike
just wants to give lung cancer to rich people.
They can afford their own chemotherapy. Why is it your business?
No, but here's the thing. No,
it's not a walk in the park, even if you can afford your own chemotherapy.
That's up to them.
Obesity and lung cancer are the things. I've read stories on the actuary tables or whatever. Obesity and cigarettes are things that they make money off of those people because they die so fucking fast. They're paying into the system.
So we let the poor people smoke, and we let them get fat and smoke, but then we leave the heroin for the rich people, right?
No.
We can war game it.
No. There's this libertarian and fiscal conservative obsession with efficiency and financial efficiency. Yeah. And I am telling you,
that's why we beat the Soviets.
Life is a lot bigger than that. You gotta open up your brain.
What is your metric by Pat? You said the guy failed then. So would you? I would say some of these people I know that are on Kid 36 have also failed. I mean, I guess they've continued their genetic lines. But so what? Just because they're in the stable relationship now, but they have 5 baby mamas before. I'm sorry, you also failed. I don't know what your metric
to raise your children, you also fail.
Well, even if they're raising their children, I would say even by your own metric,
if raising your children, you didn't fail.
No, yeah, if you're raising all of them, but you have 5 different broken homes. Sorry, you also failed. You're not a good.
You're going to tell a woman, you're going to tell a professional woman that she has to have kids.
You painted 2 pictures. You said the dad is there.
That's what my point is. That's what
She's a woman for a living.
Because what Counterpoint was saying is this guy failed on this side because his genetic dead end. I'm well, just because you're genetic not dead end doesn't mean you're not also a failure. I don't know.
That wasn't the only thing that made.
We got JD Vance in the call, guys. Check him out.
Yeah,
counter would consider a failure.
It's not the only evaluation for whether or not somebody is a success or a failure. And by the way, there's people who can't have kids, but the way that I would evaluate those people is whether or not they positively contribute to their community. Do they take care of their, their girlfriend? Do they take care of their parents? Do they take care of their community? All that kind of stuff. Well, no, you fucking morons. I'm a normal human being who gives a shit about normal.
What if I don't? What if I donate half my money to like charity and then use the other half to do heroin?
Yeah.
Arguably, arguably, if this person's wealthy enough, this person's made more of an impact than any of us here ever would.
Okay, I would give that person some slack, but I would still view.
Would you give them smack?
How much are we talking to the public for this?
He
person
can afford to pay you a
lot
lot.
Heroin.
Look, if somebody makes like $1 billion and they want to sit in their fucking little like secluded mansion and bowl all day and do whatever substances they want, it's none of my business, okay? It only becomes my business the only time is when they start doing crimes or they start taking my money.
Only a problem when the poor do it.
Most things are only a problem because of the poor. Yeah.
If we don't have poor people and everyone can afford to do their drugs and work, then that's a fucking amazing time. No,
poor people. That's all.
Jesus said the poor will always be with us. Go ahead.
I want to ask Lactoid a question. So Lactoid, I feel like. I'm stereotyping, but I feel like with your career field, with the people that you're surrounded with, et cetera, you are currently focused on ambition and pursuing ambition and getting where you want to in your career and maybe making a little bit of money, et cetera, et cetera. So, okay, but what do you think the point of all of this is? Like us being born, us being alive, us having families, us making money, us pursuing our ambitions. What's the whole point?
So I'm about to depress you like a lot. Okay,
stay fun and ride.
There in my sort of nihilistic opinion, right? There is no ultimate point. First of all,
there is no point.
I don't think there is an ultimate point. I think ultimately we're all just a blip on a long timeline that ultimately has no eventual meaning. But if you want to make your own meaning, which I think can be productive, you can do that. And whatever meaning that you make for yourself is just as valid as whatever meaning anybody else makes for themselves.
Okay, so let's say that we have, hold on, we can extrapolate from this. So let's say that somebody is schizophrenic and they take a potato peeler to their skin and they start flaying themselves, but for some reason this brings them great joy and happiness. Is that person's pursuit of happiness equally as valid as yours?
I would be concerned that they wouldn't know what they were doing, right? I think that there needs to be like a requisite level of consent. This is why I do have a problem with selling the Whippet containers to children, by the way, is because I think that people should be able to evaluate, like, I don't care what subjective goals people have, but I want them to be able to understand what they're doing to a certain extent so they know what goal they're trying to...
Drugs for schizophrenic
people? So, yeah, so let's do
drugs
this.
For like mentally ill people.
A shitload of jihadists have higher education degrees. They have master's degrees. Some of them are engineers. They
often do,
right?
So they
are wildly intelligent people. But they think that in order to get God's approval, they have to fight people who are ushering in satanic, nihilist, hedonist bullshit such as yourself. So is them killing people such as yourself equally valid as a pursuit of happiness in the planet?
So, okay, let me be very clear here. I know where you're going with this. I'm not subscribing to the sort of moral relativism in the sense of like, I think that everything's equal. I don't think that obviously their goals are equal because they're not conducive to my goals. But in the broader scheme of like, are my preferences, is there something justifying my preferences? I don't think that there is. So like in the ultimate scheme, yeah, them wanting to do whatever is just as valid as me wanting to do whatever. But I'm also a chauvinist. But I'm also a chauvinist with my morality, which is that I think it's the best because I say it's the best, and hopefully I'll gain the political power and the military power to force my way of life on other people to some extent. But luckily, my way of life allows people to do what they want to do as long as they don't affect me, more or less.
Preach on, brother man. Preach on.
So this to me, like this, like liberal. I don't know. I know that you're saying that you're not purely a moral relativist. No, it's philosophically liberal. It has to do with the individual, right? So libertarianism is a philosophical offshoot of liberalism.
Classically liberal,
yeah. So my problem with this is I think that this moral relativism is a psychological cancer. Like I think it's death to our society in the long term.
Who are you to tell me? What if my goal is that I want to ride my motorcycle every day and I don't want to work and I don't want to make children and I don't want to do seriously.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. I'm gonna ask you straight up. Who are you to tell me that I can't do this?
So hold on. In the liberal or libertarian framework, I am another human being who has gone down the path that you've gone down, found it utterly vapid and kind of disgusting and kind of gross in the long term, and I have found much more satisfaction along a different path. And so watching people go down your path, I think of it as my moral duty to scream at you, hey, heroin, motorcycles, and pussy is great for a while, but ultimately you are going to be a sad, decrepit.
It's great for a whole 5 seconds.
No, hold on. This is what he just did. He just pulled like a Obi-Wan. It's like, oh, only Sith deal in absolutes, and then he gave an absolute. Like that's what he just did. Like, and then I'm going to tell you what I did the reverse. I'm going to do the reverse. I did what you did. I went and started the family. We went and look at all the Christian happy nuclear lifestyle, and you know what? That shit was awful, and now I'm much happier, living a much wild and free life. So guess what? The true can be the opposite can be true too. So when you sit here and go, "Oh, it's not valid," you can't. Not that I'm aware of, but you can't speak to like everybody's experience.
He was married before.
I was married before, but I'm saying
marriage is advanced dating. That's almost nothing.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's like you can also talk about the kids. I mean, it's not like I've had pregnancy scares or and shit in my life. I mean, I couldn't even have kids at this point. I'm old enough, and I've had sex with enough people that it wouldn't surprise me a little giblet popped up somewhere. But like, I'm just saying that you can't tell me that just every path is meant for everybody, which like comes back to what Lactoid is saying. Under his path, everybody's got a chance to live that lifestyle, but under your path, you're eliminating shit. Like that's the problem.
From a community is everything.
Ghosty, have you had your hand up? Is that what you're doing there? Right? Yeah. Okay, Ghosty. What I need you to do, right? Alpha hands, okay? All right. Not even a beta fingers.
I do one of these.
I don't know, maybe right? Alpha hands, okay? So, Ghosty, I'll let hear what you have to say. Then Aiko, if you want to say something as well.
I was just giving an example of an alpha hand.
Okay, sure.
I just want to say I think it's dangerous to portray that family and children is like the most important goal, and it should be the goal for everybody, because if people do falsely if they're just indoctrinated with this and they think that's what they're supposed to do and that's the ultimate goal, and they're not contributing anything if they don't have kids when they can have kids, and then they have children and then they realize they didn't want that, or they got married to the wrong person. I think that's even more worse to force that a specific purpose onto people.
100%.
It's not so y'all. This is the thing. I'm an old man. I have gray in my beard. Okay. I'm talking about cultural pressure. Okay. I am not going to show up to my house and point a gun at Lactoid and say, "Hey, we're going to go find your wife right now, and you're not allowed to ride your motorcycle because you could get into an accident. And on top of that, we're going to stop by your friend's house, and I'm going to compel him. I'm going to compel him to stop smoking cigarettes." Right. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough energy. I'm taking care of other people. But what I will do is I will come onto a panel of young, passionate, politically minded fucking freaks and a bunch of freaks in the audience who are trying to figure out what life is about. And I'm going to tell you what I think life is about. And I'm going to tell you that Lactoid's fucking wrong.
That's totally fine.
Doing heroin, riding motorcycles, and banging whores is good for a spell, but it's only going to last for so many years, and then you're going to be an old, sad.
It's what your 20s are for.
The bar. Yeah, that's what. Like, no joke.
I'm still in my 20s.
16 to 25
for how long?
Figuring it out, partying.
Your opinion really shouldn't matter till after 30
and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and then after 25, you should figure out what the fuck you want, and you should go after it.
Okay, so I have a lot of I'm Catholic, so I've got a lot of Catholic friends, and a lot of them are conservative Catholics, and they'll tell me all the time that ultimately, all of these people who are running out and partying their life away or whatever, those aren't the people who are going to win out in the end, because aren't the ones that are having children or whatever. And what we find out is that, really the children end up finding their own way too. So diversity sort of fosters more diversity. And it seems to me that if different people have different lifestyle choices, the ones whose lifestyle choices are like benefiting society or whatever, that it's sort of going to out themselves in the end in terms of what the outcome of all of these different things are. And so if there's a group of people who are genetic dead ends, as I've heard people saying in this panel, then fine, they'll be genetic dead ends, but then there'll be other people who are having a whole bunch of kids that will sort of take their place.
As a Catholic man who ostensibly at least believes in the religious institution in so much as you're willing to participate in it, maybe you don't believe it literally, I don't know. But as a Catholic man, don't you think that the way that they're living their lives is basically it's all
well, I do believe that too.
It's all been done before.
I do believe that, but we as a
nihilism, paganism, self-worship.
No, it's not
all been done before.
Yeah,
paganism.
But, right. What I'm saying is like, yes, but the Catholic Church also went through Vatican II, in which we decided that everybody also, on top of all of the other prescriptions that we have for people's lives, we also acknowledged, starting with Vatican II, that everyone has a right to conscience. And the right to conscience was established there, which basically says, this is the way we'd like for you to live your life, but we acknowledge the fact that you get to choose not to live your life some other way.
Isn't that pussy shit, though? Who did Vatican II? Was it John Paul?
No, that was long before John Paul. No, that was he was the 23rd. I can't remember his first name all of a sudden.
Anyways, I have different issues with the Catholic Church. But the point is that, like, okay, so I'm not a literalist. I don't take these things.
But you believe in the right to conscience too. I mean, I heard you even admitting it today that you'll shame people, but you won't require them to do things.
But the way that I found my path was by other people challenging me on my path. They didn't just watch me like go down and like, oh, hey, Connor, you being an alcoholic and smoking weed and smoking cigarettes and just doing whatever you want with your body. That's perfectly fine. Everything's fine. Keep going. You'll figure it out one day, buddy. They didn't say that shit. They said,
on
hey,
the 23rd.
You fucking moron. We've been
but that's true. That's what I'm talking. The right to conscience doesn't mean that you
stupid shit.
You right to conscience doesn't mean that you don't get to give your prescriptions to people. It's just that you can't force them. And it sounds to me like you're saying the same thing, that you absolutely will shame people into doing what you think is the morally correct thing to do, right? But you still respect their right to make their choice.
Absolutely.
Wait, just to be clear.
Before you do that, right? So I want to say something. I want to go to Doobie. At some point, I'm going to Lactoid, Gibbs, then Doobie. I want to hear Doobie's perspective on stuff. It makes me very happy when you talk, Doobie. So I'm going to get some words out of you. But one, I just think this is like I think you're conservative, right? I think despite what Gibbs may say, right, about Connor behind his back, I think
and to my face, he does say it to my face too.
I think this is a very conservative point, right? To say, well, this has been done in the past, and then we've worked this out, and so we can put pressure on you. Look, I think there is a balance to all these things, right? Like certainly we want the wisdom of our elderly, right? That's why I have Aiko here, because he gets to say things like this and it's really helpful, right? But we should use the collective experience of society to influence our children, obviously, right? Why wouldn't we? We would be doing them a disservice if we didn't try. Fair enough, right? But at some point we need to understand that the future that they're going to design is one up to them, right? Not up to us. There's only so far that you and I and anyone here will go there, right? And that just because the conditions in the past resulted in this particular outcome doesn't mean the conditions in the future will do so as well, right? It might, but it may not. And it doesn't mean that these children aren't capable of applying some sort of ingenuity that equals better outcomes, right? Even if they go down a similar path, that society can progress, society can learn from the past, but also use that to improve outcomes in various forms, right? Through various forms of social behavior. So I think we have to keep that in mind. Just to say that, and I know you're not being. I know it sounds like you're being completely black and white, but I hear the nuance in your words, Connor, right? But we need to keep.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why the parable of the prodigal son is still relevant, a few thousand years later. And it's because nihilism, hedonism, self-worship, doing drugs, chasing loose ladies, gambling. It's fun, but it's vapid and it's temporary and it's ephemeral and it's all going to fall apart.
So okay, so here's the only thing. I agree with all of that. Almost all of that. Because like I have different thoughts on like relationships, right? So when you say hedonism, that indicts my way of thinking. Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be surprised. I'm a social degenerate. You should know that, right? But like
robot conversations.
Yeah, like, but look.
Okay, when you're done being a slut, I think you'd be happier with a family.
Wait,
give it like 5 years, 5 years more of sluttiness, and then after that, wrap it up.
Here's my disagreement. There's my disagreement here on this, right? Is that I think that families can look differently, just in general, across the board, right? Like, keep my penis out of it for a second, but then put my penis back into it. Like, I think that people can have like different sort of like relationship structure. So people can have an open relationship. Like, that's a thing that they can do. It's fraught with difficulties. It's fraught with difficulties, but so is like a monogamous relationship as well. So that's my difference here. And that, like, we've learned from the past is, like, these things have failed, and like, why have they failed? And we've analyzed that, and we've like had different ideas on what consent equals, right?
I have to object. Okay, I have to object. You know why one relationship is difficult? Because relationships are difficult. Do you know what happens when you add another relationship on top of your relationship? You're adding an exponent to the difficulties of your relationship. Do you know what happens when you add a third relationship to the relationship structure? You're adding another exponent to the difficulty of your relationship. So when a polycule
just don't tell them about each other.
I didn't say poly.
Down. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying in general. Whenever I see a polycule melt down, I kind of laugh my fucking ass off, because people are just slowly rediscovering monogamy. It's fucking crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay, so let's go to
Yeah.
Is it going to be super quick? Because I got
right now. The only reason Counter gets on these panels and does that is because the primary propaganda around this is to be like degenerate, to be like in like polycules, to be polyamorous, so on and so forth. So it seems that like in the age of influence and influencers in media, that's what's being pushed. So therefore, there's that's the counter voice.
Yeah. Andrew
okay.
Tate
So
go fuck himself.
So we're gonna go to Lactoid, Admiral Gibbs, Corey, and then I want to hear from Doobie, because I know Doobie has ideas on like relationships and not just relationships, but like how we should socially pressure like society, right? So I want to hear his thoughts on that as well. I'm going to get something out of him. So Lactoid, go.
Yeah, I guess if we're just talking about your personal prescriptions for society and like what you want to socially pressure people to do, I've got no problem with that. I've never said I have a problem with that. And libertarians generally don't have a problem with that. If you want to just talk shit and like try to pressure people to like not do whippets or weed or whatever the fuck, and just breed, fine. Like that's totally understandable. But like the contradiction happens when you say this, when you espouse a libertarian point, which is that I'm not going to like come and stop you. I'm not going to force you. I'm just going to tell you I don't like it, while simultaneously talking shit about libertarians, saying that like, oh, libertarians, they're horrible. They just want to do this. It's not necessarily true. If you have the belief that I can't, using force, change the way you live, even if I want to tell you that you'd be happier at living XYZ way, that's perfectly compatible with libertarianism. In fact, that is like the basis of libertarianism, because what's the alternative? I'm not going to tell you what you can or can't tell people. That's First Amendment. If you want to come and talk to me and say, Lactoid, I think you'd be happier doing XYZ activity, you got perfect. Yeah.
There's limits though, right? Like, so the limits are going to be, if you're like a drooling heroin addict on the side of the road, I'm not just going to say, hey, bro, you should consider stop doing heroin. I'm going to say, hey, officer, this person is impeding traffic to a local business and taking a shit on the sidewalk. put them in fucking
again,
bracelets,
you
follow 'em
can't
away.
help but reference shit that like I would agree with should probably be like because you're actually harming somebody, right? If you're taking a shit on my business stoop, sure. But if I'm like in my own house
You smell like
drooling,
shit in front of the business
yeah.
too.
Well, if I'm in my own house drooling from heroin, it's none of your business. Would you narc on me? Would you actually narc on me if I'm in my own
I
house?
absolutely fucking would.
Disgusting.
You don't live in a
This
fucking
is-
black hole, right? You don't live in the void. Everything you do
Yeah.
in your house impacts society. Everything you consume and where you get that consumption comes from.
Finally, an
impacts society.
authoritarian to back.
You don't
Yeah,
get to say,
you're
"Oh, well,
you're
you-
right. State
I'm jerking
mandated
off to child
push-ups.
porn in my house. It doesn't affect anybody. Hey, I'm jerking off to heroin in my house. I'm taking heroin in my house. Or maybe you're jerking off with heroin. Like this seems like
Yeah. What about
It
what about
doesn't affect
lollipops?
anybody else.
How could you guys
it actually
possibly
does, and
support
that's what-
like the pro-choice
that's what it
candidate using your
actually
logic?
does.
How about
It
how
actually-
about
I don't.
bestiality lollipop?
Yeah,
language?
that's a-
How
that's
about
a good
that? Is
question,
it in the
actually.
privacy of your own house? Are we going to defend that?
Yeah, I'm just fucking parrots. Who cares?
None of your
right?
business. Okay, Connor. Mind your
None
business.
of your business.
The reality is,
yeah.
everything
I
you
believe
do
narc.
impacts
really
other people.
convincing.
You live in a society. Okay, I'm sorry. Go out to the fucking
Yeah.
woods. So if you want to,
I
go to
do.
the woods-
I go out to the woods frequently.
out to the woods.
I
Hey,
hunt.
actually-
I go into the woods, and
actually,
you
that hurts
fuckers are trying to stop me from going out of the woods too,
You
using
don't
like the
get to do
fucking
it. Fuck you.
laws on this bullshit, like game wardens. Fuck no! Like you guys are stopping me from going out in the woods.
I'm
It's
20
ridiculous.
Dad. Yeah,
No,
I
you
think
know
need a
what's
daddy. You need daddy government to come in and tell you what to do because you don't know how to live your
Daddy
life.
government. You got, ultimately, all big government comes down to like a parent complex. It comes down to
you live
like
in
a
society
father
when it comes to
complex that
hunting
you
too,
have,
right?
or
You
like
don't
a
wanna hunt
mother,
something to extinction.
or like a mother complex you have, where it's like maybe
I
due to
like
like
to more like-
you just want to dominate other people. Like you guys want to do
You're
BDSM
saying
shit.
insult, but I agree with you because here's the thing.
Yeah, I feel like-
I
Yeah,
had a
okay, sorry.
mother-
I had a great
Hold on,
upbringing.
hold
My
on,
bad.
Hold on. No, yeah, I had a great upbringing too. I had a mother and a father, and they cared about me, and they told me to do right from wrong. So when I see people doing fucked up shit, I'm like, holy crap, they don't have a parent. They must need the government to come wipe their fucking ass for them.
Yeah, my parents also told me that when other adults are doing what they want to do, as long as it's not hurting you, it's none of your business.
Well, then
None of
parents
your
are stupid.
business.
That's not true. So
Yeah.
I went to Skid Row. I think I told you guys about this. I went to Skid Row to like volunteer for a bit, like a month ago or a couple months ago or some shit like this, right? I walked past a lot of people. I gave some of these people like sandwiches, water, talked to some of them. I had to call an ambulance out for somebody who was like fucking dying in a tent. These are people that I was walking by that made a long list of really bad, fucked up decisions that destroy their life and are now destroying the community because they didn't have a paternalistic government to come to save them, right? And force them to do the right thing for themselves. All I'm trying to do is save those people. I'm trying to save you from yourself. Some people do need to be saved from themselves, unfortunately, and that's okay. Like that's what the government is, right? It's the vehicle through which we save our citizens. We make sure that people are on the right path. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And there is a right path, by the way. There is a path that you should be on.
Doobie, at most, wouldn't this justify like the income kind of scheme where it's like if you make over a certain amount of money, you can do heroin?
No.
Why?
What?
Whoa! Because who are like if I'm making $100,000 a year, who are you to tell me that like I have a problem with alcohol or I have
Because
a problem with weed?
that's not the only metric through which you evaluate a successful life.
Why is it your business if I'm making that much money?
Yeah, so
Do you know how much I'm paying in taxes?
And destroy your fucking society.
Hold on.
I'm keeping like 4 children alive, okay, every year.
Hold on, I
No.
rescind my statement.
If
Hold on,
Elon
let's-
Musk wants to like do a bunch of heroin or whatever, it's
If
none
he
of my
wants to eat
business.
Children, if he wants to diddle them,
Each children? No, it's hurting other
Yeah.
people.
okay. Well,
Directly.
If he wants to do veal,
I'm fine
he
with
wants to-
veal.
does he want to rape a veal calf? Are you okay with that?
I don't
It's
give
not
a fuck if he wants to rape a veal calf. Why do you care?
That's what I'm saying.
Why do you
No,
care? Whoa, why do you care?
Don't care.
Hold on.
Why do you care? Why do you
Why
care?
do I
Vegan.
care?
It's
Because
about
it's
to
an
happen. He's
innocent baby animal with a sensory.
Oh, okay.
sensory
Vegan Connor over here. You're telling me you don't eat meat?
I just eat adult animals.
Okay, so the age of the animal is what matters here?
Yeah.
You know adult cows.
You have to kill a baby?
Well, no, because adult cows can't consent because they don't have the mental requisites to consent like a baby can't consent. It's not about like just the fact that it's an adult cow compared to a baby cow. They're both equal, like maybe not equally, but they're both
We
stupid.
would have to get into like a whole like IQ, EQ.
You think
This is
eating
ridiculous
baby animals is like more morally wrong than eating adult animals?
Well, it's more.
Yeah,
It's
you
more a
don't?
matter of sustainability, right?
No, there's nothing
You
wrong
need
with that.
more animals
Hold
so
on.
that you can eat
Hold on,
tomorrow
so
too.
Lactoid, I take
But
objection
then
to
you
your
need how they
indignance.
do it.
So if there's a 20-year-old cat that's on the verge of death anyways, and you kill it, compared to seeing a kitten and stomping on its skull. While both can potentially be bad, do you think that there's a moral difference between the two? The ending of potential life versus the ending of life that's already been lived?
No. So the problem with both of them is you have like the motivations are going to be different, right? The old cat, you're going to be ending that.
You just want to kill the cat for fun.
Yeah. If somebody wants to kill a 20-year-old cat for fun, in my mind, this is roughly equal to somebody who wants to kill a kitten for fun. Like there's a concern I have by this person, right? This person wants to kill an animal just for fun. Now, of course, I hunt, so I don't know how much really consistent I can even be with that. Honestly, I don't give a fuck if somebody wants to stomp out a cat. It's not my business. If it's my cat, now it's my business.
We're gonna go to Gibbs and go to Corey.
I shoot animals for fun.
Gibbs, Corey, Doobie.
Yeah, so
not on human animals. I hope Lactoid.
Yeah, so first,
most dangerous game.
First, I want to start with veal is fucking delicious. It's amazing. I eat as much.
Why am I not shocked?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I also have a ranch, so I doubly don't give a shit. In fact, I'm gonna go piss on a cow next time I see one.
I would eat puppies if I could, Connor.
But
God's creation coming into existence.
Yeah, so this actually
he's a Dionysus guy. So
yeah, thank you.
You know what?
Hold on,
good. I'm gonna
hold on. Thank you.
Yo, Ghosty's rolling.
Oh my God, I want to thank you for teeing up my next point right here. So what's been really been interesting about me is this moral high horse that you've been on about what's good for society. And then you said fuck Andrew Tate. Now I generally agree fuck Andrew Tate, but he did say one thing that had the basis of kernel truth, and he said women expire at a certain age, but it's really that people expire at a certain age. And I'll use what they call the Great Hoe Reformation, and I see this a lot at churches. As all of a sudden you see all these men and women who have basically expired and are used to a certain lifestyle. They appear at the church, and suddenly they're on their moral high horses, sounding exactly like Connor, and they're telling you they know what's best for you, and that you should be looking for more in life, and all this shit. This is what they do, and then half of them even start trying to hit you with Bible verses, not knowing that you know more Bible verses than they do, and it's crazy stuff, and they don't even know their own beliefs, and they have this high moral relativism and this high horse, and they're thinking you should start family. How dare you're so immature for living this lifestyle that you generate cash for society. You have to make money and you get taxed. And you should be able to do what you want. But no, you're so terrible. You know what? I think these people are actually the dregs of society. You know why? Because they're expired. They couldn't get shit done on their own. And so they had to go and join a little organization or something like this. Or we have to find a family because I can't find happiness of my own or self-fulfillment. It's so sad. I'm sorry that you're so weak-willed that you had to go get a woman because you weren't even happy in your own self. You're not going to be happy with a woman if you're not happy with yourself. It's the same thing, bro. I'm sorry. Y'all are a bunch of baby-like bitches, and I don't give a shit about your moral realistic high horse. Hedonism is better. And Lactoid is the only true love. More freedom to do what I want to do.
What's the moral question?
Important question. Yeah, so that is not Andrew Tate's greatest contribution to society. His greatest contribution to society is Megan Fox with a penis or Hulk Hogan with a vagina. Please choose.
Yes.
That's his best one, huh?
Yeah.
I'm asking you, Admiral Gibbs.
It's a tough question.
Or Hulk Hogan with a vagina.
Why not both? I don't know. Let's fucking wild out.
Mix it up. Get a little swirl going.
Once the lights are off, who knows what's happening? I'm gonna pray it's one thing and hope it's another.
Let's go to. Oh my God.
Gibbs will bite any bullet.
He stumped me. He got me.
Yeah, he got me there. Yeah. Corey, and then Doobie.
Well, yeah, interesting act to follow. Okay, so Connor, actually, there's I actually more agree with you than disagree with you. Actually, lean more towards your. I definitely am not a hedonist, okay, even though I'm on the left, and I staunchly generally advocate against it with some balance. But I'm going to try to maybe build a bridge. So I don't have children, but from my understanding, you have children, right? And I have very little doubt that you've encountered the scenario of you tell your child something, okay, you try to warn them of the consequences, and they just go and do it anyways. Where it's and you even see them potentially observe them. Let's say they just got to go and find out, right? They got to go and touch the stove and burn themselves. And so I'm going to now draw an analogy with your children, and Lactoid's, developmental state, where so I think I've been strong against Lactoid's decision to buy a motorcycle, okay? Where I care about Lactoid's life better than he does, okay? And Lactoid will wax poetic about, protecting the children. Oh my God, the children. Yet he literally rides a vehicle that's way more likely to kill a child on the road. Way more likely in comparison to a car, where his pleasure takes precedence over the life of a child. It's easy to advocate for children when it doesn't interfere with their own life. But, okay, even though I think Lactoid, okay, pretty clearly he has the executive function of a child, okay, and he has to go and find out on his own. He has to injure himself on his own in order for him to hopefully learn his lesson.
I'm still doing it. I injured myself. I'm still doing it.
Lower than a
I
child.
agree.
Exactly. His role as your father.
When you
very
fall
seriously
down, you
last
get back
time.
up, right?
No,
Just like Joe Biden
No,
said.
I want to expand on what Corey's saying, but sorry, finish it and I'll expand.
And so as much as I disagree, okay, staunchly, okay, regularly with Lactoid's decisions, I also recognize that he has to go and hopefully find out on his own, and hopefully he does that before he either hurts or kills someone else or kills himself. That is the reality.
100%. So, okay, so you gave me a lot. I'm going to try to do it as quickly as I can. So with Lactoid, the analogy would be like him riding the motorcycle or whatever. He's got to learn it on his own. He knows how dangerous it is. He's an adult. He's doing his own thing. I'll tell him that it's fucking stupid. I'll tell him about the horrible accidents that I've seen involving motorcycles as a cop who, previously worked, all that kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't faze him. He's going to keep doing it, okay? But I am going to ask the state, if Lactoid does 125 miles an hour on the freeway, I'm going to ask the state to pull him over and give him a citation. If he takes risky behavior by rolling through traffic, riding the line, hitting the curb, all that kind of crap, then I'm still going to ask the state to intervene in his life, because while he's doing dangerous behavior, I still want there to be limits on his behavior that are imposed by the state. When it comes to children, one of the things that you talked about, my first boy, if you tell him something, he wants to find out and he wants to do it the best way possible. So he listens to you the first time. My second child, who is kind of funnier in this way, and who, I'm not going to lie, it reminds me of myself. If you tell him no, he keeps doing the thing, but slower while staring you in the eyeballs. So it's like, Henry, don't touch the steak knife that's in the bottom of the dishwasher. It's very sharp. And he just looks at you in the eyes and he just keeps reaching for it. So on one hand, like, he's young enough now that I'm like, okay, no, let me grab it, put it away, whatever. So I can do that. But I know that when he's a teenager, he's going to do the same shit. I'm going to tell him, Henry, no. And he's just going to do the thing slower. So, yeah. That's
because you have T-Rex eyes and you can't tell without movement.
Yeah, my vision is based on movement. And it's getting worse all the time.
Yeah, and so if maybe follow up on that a little bit, I don't want to derail, but I'm curious. So yeah, I guess sticking with the motorcycle example, since that's what I brought up.
You still don't stop fighting for your idiot child, like Lactoid.
And yeah, like a citation. So I'm curious when it comes to accountability. Okay, and I guess maybe not to prematurely introduce the topic, but so if someone, so basically, do you think anybody that's involved in a motor vehicle incident and they take someone else's life, should they be automatically charged with murder?
Yeah, so it depends on the riskiness of the scenario, for instance. Just having worked traffic homicides, I'll try to be brief. There are scenarios that are environmental. For instance, like rain, sleet, snow, lights being out, crosswalks, all that kind of crap. A bicyclist blows through a stop sign that they were supposed to stop at and you hit them. If you kill someone there and there's no reasonable precaution that you could have taken to prevent the accident, I don't think that's on you. However, if you're engaging in risky behavior, for instance, doing 125 miles an hour, weaving through traffic, et cetera, and you kill or hurt somebody else, yeah, absolutely, you should be liable, 100%.
Well, so I just tweak it a little bit because I think you would more or less, as far as I'm not a lawyer, but I think you more or less reiterated what the current law is, generally speaking. But let's say, okay, whatever. Someone driving a car, okay, and they're obeying all traffic laws, okay, but a child just happens to wander into the street, okay, because children be children, unfortunately. Should that be murder?
No.
Okay.
No, it can be homicide, like they killed someone, but it's not going to be chargeable because they didn't do anything that was reckless that contributed to the death of the child.
I understand not the intentional killing, but pretty much they should be held criminally responsible. They should probably go to jail or suffer some large consequence, or not.
Nope. It all has to go off of the reasonableness standard. So like we can't evaluate crime based off of just its consequences, because there's a shitload of
I generally
crimes.
agree.
Yeah, there's a shitload of crimes that actually don't have consequences for long periods of time, but then have disastrous consequences very quickly. And so the reason why we prohibit that activity, for instance, speeding is risky behavior. But you can speed for prolonged periods of time and never get into a fatal accident. As a matter of fact, I think some of the best drivers in the world are like race car drivers, right? They speed all the time, but they don't get into accidents because they're very talented. But when something goes wrong, they hurt or kill someone. Well, true. But even in their personal lives, if they think that they're more skilled than the average driver, therefore, this actually goes back to Lactoid's analogy with the cigarettes. They make more money. They're more intelligent. They are more productive, so they have the privilege of engaging in more risky behavior. I say no, because you can still have just as disastrous consequences just as quickly as anybody else. It's math.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to it, I guess, in the second topic. But
Doobie,
Cool.
what were your thoughts?
I'm proud of Connor.
Thanks.
I think I'm proud of his new Christian nationalist arc.
Thanks.
We're like one step away from fully fascist.
Yep.
So I'm looking
Centrist
forward to getting
fascism,
there.
you and me.
Yeah, I think he's just right. Like I think I agree with everything you said so far. I think
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Well, yeah. So, like, at what point is society supposed to step in, right? So, like, for instance, he talked about like relationships. Like, should society step in and say that, like, well, this certain type of relationship is allowed, and others aren't, between consenting adults, of course. But like, because like, oh, we have the stats, right? We have the stats, and it says that, well, this type of relationship has better outcomes, and so you're completely making a mistake, and so now we're going to step in and say, no, you can't do this.
Single mother straight to jail.
I don't. Well, no, well, I think that there should be a social pressure, and the government should provide incentives to move toward relationships that we know work, monogamous relationships primarily. If there are people who can exist outside of that and they're happy, fine. I think right now we have too much social pressure encouraging people to experiment and do all kinds of crazy shit that we know just doesn't work ever. So I think that one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot recently, because there's all that talk about wokeness in the media and whatnot. I think that it seems to me that one side of the ideological aisle, right? So the side of hedonism and the side of gender everything and sexual everything and do everything and be free, yada yada. Lactoid side has fully like grasped the idea that they can influence a culture through the media, and they are absolutely trying to do this. There's a lot of pressure for them to do this, right? To get into every facet of media, and it feels like at some point the reasonable side backed off of this, or they ran away from it, right? And they stopped trying to influence them that way. So I feel like we should do that more often. It shouldn't be the job of like internet edgelords and YouTubers to call out, wokeness in TV and film and video games and shit like this, because all those things absolutely influence our culture, right? And when it's like a nonstop fucking trickle of like just little things here and there, all over Disney, all over Marvel shit, all over our video games, things like this, all over all the TV shows that our kids watch. Long term, this can have a massive impact on us as a society. So I think there should be like more a heavier handed presence within the media, all spheres of the media, to influence the culture in the correct direction, which is away from those things.
Would you have like a bureau like within the government to? Okay, so like
I wouldn't call it a bureau because I feel like that sounds kind of Nazi-ish.
It sounds like like the thing that you're.
I call it something friendlier. Okay, like.
You have to disguise what it is in order.
Remember, friends, the centrist fascists, they're voting for Kamala Harris. Just pointing that out.
We've had like the comic book code, right? We've had like a bureau that that basically looked at Hollywood scripts and like say, well, this is correct, this is incorrect, right? This sounds communist, this doesn't. These types of things. And we've gone down this path. You're saying, well, let's revive that, but in a friendlier manner.
Yep. Doobie,
Yeah,
would you send the cops to take away my nitrous oxide if I ordered it?
Yeah, I would.
Well, did you just
Why? Why?
hold on? Did he unironically
Just
just
talking
say
about
that
you
we need?
specifically, Lactoid.
But this is 2 Star Wars references tonight. Did you just unironically say that we need Compnor? That's what you did. That's literally what you're advocating for.
I don't know
is
what Compnor is.
It's the like center for the preservation of the new empire or the new order or something, and they basically push everything. Yeah, and they basically push the culture of the empire and like why it's the safety and prosperity metrics.
The Bureau of Normalcy.
So I remember, so something like maybe I'm just like I'm like I've got like rose tinted glasses, but I remember growing up, there would seem to be like a bigger, like I don't want to call it like a right wing influence, but at least a pro America influence in our culture.
Pro-social.
Yeah, pro-social, pro America influence in our media, right? Like something simple, the Ghostbusters 2, right? That scene where the Statue of Liberty goes and it knocks that down the top of that building, and everybody's singing, all of New York singing to the Statue of Liberty and things like this. Simple shit like this is just like symbolism, right? It's a symbol of the United States, all these people coming together for the common good because they're all Americans, et cetera, et cetera. Like things like this were everywhere when I was growing up. I remember seeing them all over the place. And now it's way more common to
It's
see
all
things that, like,
deconstruction.
yeah, it's way more common to see things that like tear apart America, tear down all of our values, all of our social structures. And that is not good when you're not only are you doing this, but you're not giving people anything to replace it with. And when they do give people something to replace it with, it's something that's toxic. It's something that is detrimental to them.
So hold on. So this is where I think that it is parents' responsibility to raise their kids with some set of like morals and virtues and values, and a certain amount of autonomy should be done for that. I do think that public education should have a degree of like philosophical and moral and civic education as a part of it in order to like establish a value system. Now, when it comes to adults, though, I wouldn't do just because I do think that like liberal democracy or republicanism is the worst form of government except for all the other ones, right? So I still want a free society because I would rather fight Lactoid on a panel than compel him to my belief system with a firearm, right? So I wouldn't put that on the state to create like pro-social media for the United States of America, probably because the art would suck as well. But I do think that conservatives should have an answer, because right now a shitload of art in media is just degenerate, anti-human, deconstruction, no positive narrative. You get
wait, what
more
do you want?
positive narrative from kids media than you do adult media.
Wait, Connor. So what's the answer then? Is the answer
start making art?
Just buy Daily Wire. Just buy Daily Wire Kids.
Yeah. So your answer is like the Daily Wire and stuff. It's not the Inquisition.
No. Whoever wrote Top Gun Maverick, just give him unlimited money and just have him write like all movies for like the next decade. And Fede Alvarez, because he did Aliens Romulus.
The problem is because there aren't a lot of conservatives that go into these artistic spaces like filmmaking and music, and
because they don't make money out the gate.
Well, they are. They're ostracized. I mean, they're attacked.
Yeah, Hollywood
forced out.
Yeah, Hollywood is absolutely dominated by leftists,
but that's what I would tell conservatives is stop being pussies, because that's the thing. It's like, I'm ostracized. They hate my ideas. It's like, stop being a pussy. Keep going.
Like Gina Carano.
Well, that's easy. That's easy for you to say, but like I think Gina's a good example. Like she was basically had her career attacked, and she had to go to like the conservative channels and the conservative media because she was ostracized pretty much because of her political views.
So that's a good start. Let's keep going. More people should escape the liberal, progressive, hegemonic control of media. As an example, I think that all of us here, probably 2 or 3 years ago, the people who were on the debate scene thought of Twitch as a hegemonic, unbeatable, money-making machine for debates and live streams and all that kind of stuff. YouTube has swallowed a huge part of their market share. Kick has swallowed some of their market share. I'm trying to think of what's the other one. Rumble has been relatively successful. So these hegemonies, these controls in a free society, they only last for so long before people create parallel markets that actually work.
There's also a split. There's also a
I
split
like
within
capitalism.
conservatism,
I'm a
right?
mixed
Because
economy capitalist, Gibbs.
a lot of what you guys have been talking about, which is like, especially what I think Doobie and Counterpoints have been talking about, is this sort of like maintaining tradition so that we can continue society like in traditional ways or whatever. But like MAGA has like rejected that, right? Like they want to tear down institutions as well. They want to tear down traditions as well. And so it's difficult for
They wanna
conservatives to
return
sort of
to
coalesce.
200-year-old
Would you would you support affirmative action for tradcons in media, Connor?
Would I? Yes. So like, I'm sorry, I got a little bit.
Oh,
too
the
excited.
fairness doctrine.
But
You're talking about the fairness doctrine.
No, I'm talking about like
Which
affirmative
conservatives
action, right?
historically hate.
Like there's a certain amount of slots to CNN that you have to hire Republicans. Like we're quota system even.
That's the fairness doctrine.
Hold
Yeah.
up. Yeah. So hold up. So I had the Mimi answer is obviously just big smile on my face. Yes. The real answer is no. I think there's institutions that are poorly served by the having like limited demography, and conservatives have run away from identity politics instead of what I think should be a relatively embracing of it. So for instance, I think that public education, no offense to any public school teachers or whatever, I think it's way too feminized. I think it's way too pussified. I think there's not enough masculine men who are capable of growing large beards telling other administrators and teachers, no, that's a dumb way to run that shit. This is how we should run it. And so as a result, you have almost like a toxically feminine culture in public education. So I would literally like do a cultural push and say public education is currently 90-10, like 90-10 a female male. By the year 2050, it needs to be 70-30 female male or some shit like that. Straight up.
I think there needs
We
to
do
be
need
male teachers.
more gender balance in education.
I could definitely see that for schools having like
principals
a
do be
quota
looking
for
for that
male
now.
teachers. Yeah.
Yeah, like positive masculine influence.
Male teachers are like the male nurses of today.
Well, in medicine's another thing where like they, of course, like I honestly like
I don't know. Well,
do
medicine
valorize
we
the
want
people in
the
these
men want
industries.
that one. They got the doctors, they get the nurses. I don't know who came
Yeah,
out.
I don't have any problem with women being primarily nurses. What's wrong with that?
So
Oh wait, medical school is largely
Well, they
women now.
needed
That's
men.
the majority.
Oh,
It's only
okay.
matter of time before both.
Why do we
doctors
need
and
men?
They're all women.
Because
Gibbs,
to
matter
lift
of time,
bodies that
matter
are
of time.
heavy.
We have
Just have more
stereotyped
women.
These jobs. Hold on. Okay. We've stereotyped these jobs as being exclusively feminine, but the truth is that some of them are fucking hardcore, right? Like you need school administrators to break up fights. You need school administrators to mentor young men who have tendencies to be violent. You need that in the culture. And then same thing with nurses. I know that like nurses catch like, oh, a pussy rap. Have you ever talked to a fucking ER nurse? They're like disimpacting bowels and doing CPR and like administering Narcan and all that kind of shit. They're basically keeping people who are on the verge of death alive.
They're
That
doing the
shit
work.
is hardcore. So
They're
like
doing the work in the hospitals.
we need to change our view on that to be like, oh no, I just want pretty nurses to wait on me while I'm shitting in a bag. It's like, no, we need dudes to do the hard shit.
And also,
even
if you
now, the
listen
girl
in
nurses
the
are
if you're in
doing
a
the hard
teacher's
shit.
lounge in your average public school, you'll hear those conversations, and it'll be the women teachers who are the ones complaining about there not being more men.
And by the
in
way,
the
if
schools,
you're a
like
Volcel-
they agree with you.
Less
Well,
lady,
and
less,
Lactoid,
smaller
here's the thing.
dating pool.
When
Sad
you're done making shitloads of money as a fucking lawyer or whatever, you can go to a public school, become a teacher, and you'll probably find your wife almost instantaneously because of the ratio.
Like I said,
True.
As a
I
matter of fact,
speak
Whoa.
As soon as she sees you on a
Yeah,
motorcycle,
What are the
you're
political
being a
views?
fucking asshole eating baby cows. You can go be a public school teacher too, and
Whoa.
you find a woman.
First of
yeah,
all,
but I don't want to. I'd rather eat the baby cow.
he'd rather eat the baby cows. First of all, Gibbs has no
Lisa,
problem with
you're
women.
done.
Okay, Gibbs has no
I
problem with
pretty
women.
good with the ladies.
Yeah, Gibbs. There probably is a woman in your house right now. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, there's one about 10 feet away.
Yeah, he just has them. They're just around. Okay, it's crazy.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
he's
You just gotta take care of yourself, you know.
I'm gonna quote the band Good Charlotte. Okay, girls don't like boys. Girls like cars and money.
Well, that's a good point. That's why
Right,
you get both.
you are encouraging people then to become lawyers instead of school teachers. By that's very statement.
No, because
No.
you're gonna fill
Entrepreneurs?
thoughts. When
Well-
you have a nice car, hold on. When you're Gibbs and you're eating baby cows, you're gonna have to find a woman who's okay with you eating a baby cow.
Hopefully she's
What
eating a
kind of
baby cow with me.
sociopathic-
If you're
what kind of
Oh.
sociopathic e-thought Instagram whore is
Also, if
okay
you're
with you
smart as a
eating
teacher-
baby cow?
listen. To
You're
be
gonna
fair,
have
the
to
most
be
one of
wrong.
the most entertaining things Gibbs has ever told me is that the secret to to getting women is not caring how fucked up they are.
That's true.
This
No
is
shit. That's why he found the Instagram ethos
Yeah.
whores that don't care that he's eating baby cows.
No, in fact,
They also enjoy the baby
They
cows.
suggest it.
That.
Most of the time, they suggest it, like, "Hey, where you want to go tonight?" I'm like, "I don't know." They're like, "Let's go to the
These
steakhouse."
are-
I'm like, "That's what I'm talking about."
These are cokehead e-thought fucking Instagram whores.
You just keep adding.
Yeah,
I don't know about.
it's the same thing. I'm just repeating myself.
They don't use
Yeah.
Instagram. Come on.
And if they're cokeheads, they're not going to eat steak. Problem. They don't go together. Come on, bro.
Wait, they don't?
Well, they prep
Yeah,
for the
they-
night.
they're
No,
not-
the
they're
cokehead,
gonna watch
the
dinner and
cokehead
then coke for
Instagram, hold on, the
dessert.
cokehead Instagram e-thoughts are for the club. You got to find the fun ones for the steakhouse. You know, there's different groups.
I think
Uh,
Connor, have you ever thought of
Can't do
what's it-
coke
no,
and
so,
eat
I
hard
don't
meat.
know. I don't think any of you guys. I don't know if any of you are aware of this, but I am expecting a child. Right. My wife.
Nice,
is pregnant.
congratulations.
Hey.
Thank you. And I've been thinking a lot for that reason. I've been thinking a lot about like how the fuck to raise a kid, right?
Mm.
Thinking a lot about how my father raised me, how I've seen other people raise their kids, and there's a lot, right? And something that I've gotten stuck on is like internet access, because I feel like there's just so much out there that is so toxic, right? That I don't know how to give them access to the internet without them getting mentally fucked in some way. Right?
Gonna let them on the politics
I'm-
server?
No, hold
No,
on. So
no.
so I'm actually with you. My wife and I haven't figured it out. I'm not saying we're figuring it out. He still knows what skibbity toilet is. You know,
Yeah,
he still
that's- I
says
don't want-
sheesh. He still like does the thing. He does a dab, you know, like all that kind of shit. And
It's
we
ice
actually
in his
watch what
veins?
we watch what he watches, right? So number one, you can't give him access to normal YouTube. It's just not possible. Number two, YouTube Kids is also trash. There's plenty of trash on YouTube Kids. So then what I would say is the next thing is just finding those cool programs that are actually entertaining to kids, but also have like a deeper message and meaning and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not kidding. Trash Truck is on Netflix. It's phenomenal. Bluey is a show that like adults like because it's that good and it has moral messaging. Also a shitload of Disney films. I know that Disney is trying to like trick kids into being like trans and gay and stuff. But besides that, they actually do have a lot of really good kids programs that actually have pro-social messaging. So you have to look for pro-social messaging.
Just pirate and download all the old shows that you enjoyed that you think was good, put them on an SD card, and then have your kid, like, in terms of like shows or like entertainment, they only have access to that SD card. Therefore, you know, it limits it. I mean, you could have a bunch of shows, but it limits the access.
Listen, Incredibles, Princess and the Frog, Moana, Toy
Yep.
Story.
I thought Cartoon Network did a really good job. I'm not sure now. I don't watch Cartoon Network anymore, but they did a really good job with their like cartoon programming. That a lot of those things you could definitely watch with your kid as an adult. Like they were something like a kid would definitely get into, but like had so many deeper layers that like they'll get later on. But you can have a fun. Yeah.
Well, and Doobie, sorry, I know that we're kind of getting off tracked off of internet versus like media to consume or whatever, but I'm excited to watch the Avengers series through what is it? The last one with Thanos or whatever. I'm excited to watch that because sure, it's like schlock and it's for teenagers and like all that kind of crap, but at the same time, like it's if you actually analyze the themes of it, it's oftentimes people in really conflicted situations making difficult decisions that affect their lives and the lives of people around them. And that's the kind of like moral conundrums that I want my kids to think about while they're growing up.
Yeah, it's difficult. So I don't want to like I don't think there's anything beneficial that comes from like shielding a kid or a person from all the bad things, right?
Nope.
I think what I'm more focused on is how to train them or how to help them deal with it or how to help them confront it. Which is
Yes,
something my
there's
father did
literally-
with me. My father had me watch videos of people being like tortured and shit.
That's probably too
but-
far.
Yeah, probably too far. But like that kind of thing, right? But I think that's something similar could be applied. Maybe this is getting back to the paternalistic thing. I think something similar could be applied to society. I don't think we should like tell people, oh, you can't know about polycules and all this crazy shit. But
here are the
you
risks
can do it.
associated
You
with
can
that.
do it, but we're gonna try to encourage you not to do that. We're gonna incentivize you to do something better, right?
No, 100%. And with my kid in particular, I probably introduce him to concepts of the world a little bit too early, but I do it in like really sanitized ways. So for instance, like there's mass shootings, right? There's terrorist attacks, there's wars, all that kind of stuff. We use really simplified terms with my 6-year-old where I'm like, there are bad guys, they do exist, they do bad things, and sometimes good guys have to fight them. And it's really ugly and it's mostly for adults. Right now, I just want you to focus on being a kid. And that's the conversation that we have.
And also, not for nothing, but like, aren't conservatives and libertarians always concerned about the recovery rate for kids? Like, we're not having enough kids to keep up with the
Yeah, the
people
birth
and so on and
rate.
so forth. Like,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
why I'm
wouldn't
having
this,
3.
yeah, wouldn't this like pushing socially like encouraging people to have kids, have families? Because like you don't want what's happening in Japan, where like they went through a while, they're essentially fucked, and now they have government funded programs in order to get people to fuck. Like,
Yeah, and by the way, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Every single country, like Hungary or whatever, I know we're getting off topic, but every country like Hungary, Japan, China, when they've instituted birth rate programs or whatever, they've bumped it by like 0.15, whatever. Like it has not fixed the problem.
So let's we'll move on to our actual topic of choice. Before then, we have a bit of business. Gotta get out of the way. Now I had to wait a month. I had to disguise this for a month, or else he would have run away. Right? DB had a birthday. A month ago. And as a tradition, we're going to sing happy birthday. So
right.
everybody, happy
birthday
birthday to
to
you.
Oh God, Jesus.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
dear
dear
Doobie.
Echo, sing.
Happy
birthday
to
I was singing. What do you mean?
Nailed it.
God.
Congratulations.
I've ever received, but thank you.
hold up, did we ever get a green bubble meter for Icow and Campbell going?
I wasn't able to.
You
Hopefully,
can see my lips moving.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll take your word for it. But we're very much happy to have you here for another year, DB. I'm glad you're safe and happy and things hopefully are going your way in your life.
Some tadpoles coming.
Thank you.
Yeah. Out to you. Okay. Beyond that, support the channel. The subs to the channel, get bits, give subs if you're out there. We are if you like these conversation that we've just had, you like the type of energy that we bring to these things. Like it started off with one subject being, huffing gas, but I think about end up in a good message, as to TV programming for children. So if you like are sometimes chaotic conversations, consider supporting us. Follow the channel if you haven't done so yet. We had a few people follow the stream. Consider doing so if you haven't done so yet. Follow the channel, sub to the channel to get at free viewing, get our emotes, and keep us around. We do need your help. Hey, Crystal Clear. Nice to see you in chat. Hope you're doing well. But support the channel so that we can keep doing this. We can't keep doing it without you, so consider doing that. All right. Oh, also it's September. So September, you'll get discounts when you sub or you gift subs. So consider that your money will go farther this month. All right. Next topic. Teenager Kiernan Tague was behind the wheel of a BMW going 107 miles per hour when he lost control of his car that ended in a severe wreck. This resulted in his passenger, another minor, being tragically killed. This wasn't Tague's first time speeding. We have proof of this as his mother installed an app that tracked his driving. She even warned him about it. But despite this, she didn't provoke access to her vehicles, and a young man lost his life. Now people are pushing for the mother to be charged for this negligence. This follows 2 incidents where parents have been charged for the child's mass shooting sprees. Do you agree with holding parents accountable for the actions of their children? Should a child getting into an accident be treated the same as intentional gun violence? And if you agree with this, what other child misbehavior should parents be on the hook for? It's unfortunate, but this kid was speeding. He had been speeding previously. Like, I think maybe had been going possibly even faster before, but whatever. His mother, like, we have documented proof that she was aware of this. She warned him about it. She said she was scared that he kept doing it, but she didn't, stop him. And then this man lost his life. There's some sort of track that I'm not sure how it works, but it either tracks the car, maybe tracks his phone. And she has like records of him doing this. So people are saying, well, if you are aware of this behavior, aware that your child is reckless to society and could cause deaths, because as we've established previously, speeding causes deaths, then take an action. She didn't take an action, and it ended up the way it did. So I want to know how far this should go. How far should parents be responsible for their child? I have lots of ways where I want to take this conversation, but I guess we'll just start our friend Lactoid.
Yeah, in this particular case, I'm pretty okay with the parents getting charged. The 4 cases prior, or I guess the 3 prior cases that I think are most interesting here is going to be, we have the 2 ones involving the parents being charged with the guns, right? They're giving their kid guns, and their kids apparently had some issues. But then we also have a prior case in which a teenager who was given a car, he legally wasn't able to drive, and he crashed the car and killed a 14-year-old passenger, and the parents were charged there because, hey, why did you give a car to somebody who couldn't legally drive? And I think that here, when you have notice of what you're doing beforehand and then you do it anyway, I think that there is like a level of culpability associated with that, right? When you know that what you're giving somebody is going to be used for a crime, like that's classic accomplice, right? If I know that this gun is going to be used in a robbery, but I give it, I sell it to the person anyway, that that's an accomplice, right? If I know if this kid has been speeding consistently, which the records show that he had consistently over and over again, 120 miles an hour, really the kind of speeding that would get you arrested. You wouldn't get a citation for this. You'd probably be arrested for reckless driving. And what was the mom's response? To buy her son a BMW that can go even faster. And then also ask him to pick up wine when the fact he's 16. So she knew that he had a fake ID and was asking him to use it for her benefit. I mean, there's a lot of shit here that's just like fucked. But yeah, I'm fine with them getting charged. This seems reasonable here.
Thanks so much, Admiral Gibbs.
I'm a little torn on this one. I'm gonna be honest. Part of me wants to go, hey, if they're old enough to drive, then they're old enough to burden the blame themselves, and then the parent. I don't think the parent should be blamed for someone making their own, decisions. However, that being said, Lactoid kind of alluded to a couple of these things, the fake ID aspect, her telling me to whine, these like egregious over things. Like, whenever one thinks back to when they're youth, when they first get their car, everybody drives a little bit faster with the speed limit, thinking they can live forever, right? But then, you kind of grow out of it or you don't. I don't know. I don't usually speed. It's bad or gas mileage. The Biden economy is ruined speeding for America, right? Really, that's really the problem. Nobody can speed because nobody has the gas for it. So, I get that we want to eat the rich, like in this scenario, but this kind of seems like a justified scenario. So I'm going to say, I guess, yeah, Charger, but generally I would say no.
Okay, Corey.
Well, I don't really have, as of right now, much to add. Well, so yeah, based off of the details that are included in the article about the story, maybe something else will come out that'll change my mind. But also, I think there's something to be said, or maybe a conversation about, like, what is a parent to do where, at least from what I can gather from this story, okay, so I'm not a parent, but from what I understand, that I hear constantly, parenting is difficult, okay? And Yeah, it seems like this mother was like afraid of her child, where like this child is a teenager, and like apparently she had they had altercations where I think like he beat up his own mother, and I don't know what resulted in her making the decision to buy him a presumably more powerful car that allows him to speed more. I don't know. It's probably a complicated scenario, but yeah, there's something interesting going on there. But all that to say is, so far I agree with the points made that they should probably be charged.
I go.
Yeah, I pasted a study earlier on the last topic when we were still talking about whether or not drugs like impair like the brain's ability to make decisions. And drugs, the reason why drugs do that in part is because there are certain parts of the brain that are involved in executive decision making that are sort of really critically important that drugs can block. But even without drugs, there's a time in which the brain hasn't grown those sections of the brain yet. And so that's why we don't hold often children responsible for the things that they do. Now, we can argue the point at which that happens. Does it happen at 14? Does it happen at 16? Whatever. But one thing that we do know is that the parents do have fully developed brains, and we can hold them responsible even in instances, or especially in instances where you wouldn't hold the minor responsible. I think but then we get these instances, I don't know, Lactoid could tell me, it's like the penumbra of the law, they call it, right? Where things are sort of like a little bit vague, where sometimes there is a certain degree of responsibility that has arrived for that child. Like if you're 16, 17 years old, maybe you are capable of some of those things. You should still be held responsible. But I don't think the parental responsibility ends until we've reached that point at which it's clear in the law says that it's 18. In this case, I think it's pretty clear that the parents weren't doing their due diligence. And absolutely, I think they can be held responsible. I think the same thing is true with the mass shooter, right? I mean, after you get a call from the FBI, that should at least tell you maybe it isn't the wisest thing, especially with the FBI specifically saying, hey, keep this kid away from guns. Maybe it's hard for you to then plead ignorance when something happens.
Ali?
Yeah, so like as long as you can prove negligence and it's not just like, oh, the parents weren't aware of what like was happening, because like kids are shitheads and you can hide shit from your parents, and I don't think every crime that your kid commits is something that you should be held accountable for. But if it's something that like came from like your assistant, so like you bought the kid the gun, or like your kid is speeding and you buy him another car, like there are certain things that obviously hold them to neglect for. Now, Corey, to like what Corey was saying, I think honestly, I've been saying this every time we've had like this neglect conversation. I think there should be like a military school for like these types of kids instead of like like sending them to jail or whatever it may be. You send them to a military type school where there are guards watching them, because these are obviously at risk youth. It's going to be a little bit crazy to put them all together, but the guards watching them, you give them some type of like a mandated school regimen. They learn some structure. They have a little bit of discipline. I think it's pretty beneficial at the end of it. They can graduate with all the necessary skills. And then if they want to join the military, it's already, there you go. Boom. But yeah, I think that would be a probable solution, right? And yeah, hold the parents accountable, especially if it's in a case like murder. Like your kid killed another kid based on like you kind of just letting them be a shithead. Yeah, it sucks for you. You got to go to jail.
Counterpoints.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm a huge fan of the American Domestic Legion idea that Ali just came up with. If you're a total fuck up at 16 or 15 and you accidentally kill someone, or you're a drug addict or an asshole, then we can send you to like you can go to jail, juvie or whatever, or you can go to military style boot camp, and if you get your shit together, then you have actually like an auto enlistment into the military to help you continue to grow. I'm perfectly fine with that. I think that's a brilliant idea. When it comes to these situations, I think that it has to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. And the case-by-case basis is going to be negligence, as everybody said. I think that civil liability is obvious in this case, because these people, like, they acted negligently. They enabled the child to continue to do things. They had information that this kid was doing dangerous things. They did nothing to stop it. They enabled it, et cetera, et cetera. And on top of that, they got money. So basically taking a few $100,000 for them for killing your kid is probably a decent way to go. When it comes to criminal liability, that gets a little weird for me with cars, because cars are more accidental. But when it comes to like the firearms or whatever, we have a problem here in the society of basically enabling kids to have access to firearms and a shitload of parents who just don't care that they have access to them, and then wild shit happens. So I think criminal negligence, I'm iffy on automobiles. From firearms, I'm pretty much sold.
Ghosty.
Okay. So I think that definitely, I think that parents are responsible for minors. So especially like in younger ages, like especially under 16. So it should be definitely case by case, like what Counterpoints was saying. It should very strictly be case by case. But when you get something like a call from the FBI, or you have messages with your son about his speeding, so far you have a tracker, and then you buy him a BMW. These are things that I think would be good enough to implement them being charged. And but especially for guns, I do think we have a big issue with minors and guns. Most of the gun crime comes from minors. So it's hard because like I know hunting is like a very big thing that like young boys do with their fathers. So I would even be fine with like maybe I always thought something maybe where like if a minor has a gun, they have to be in like the vicinity of an adult, or like they can only use that like a controlled area, like a range or something. But yeah, when children are losing their lives, their parents, I think it's totally fair to hold them culpable.
GB.
I think I disagree with all of you on this.
Nice.
I don't think that she should
As the soon-to-be parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a soon-to-be parent, I don't think parents should be held liable. No, I think in this case, it's you really have a situation, at least in the case of the mother and the son who got into the car accident. So she wasn't in the U.S. when this happened. She was in Canada, right? It seems like I looked into her a little bit. She seems like she's like some marketing executive type person or some brand strategist type person, right? And that's one of the hats she wears. She also seems to work with a kind of university or some shit. So seems like she's a very busy, successful person. No father is around because the father died. So she's trying to manage this kid who is obviously not listening to her, not doing as he's told, right? Because you can see in the text messages that they've posted that she was telling him to stop, like repeatedly, right? So she was trying to get him to stop. He just wasn't listening. So I feel like even if she hadn't gotten that car, right, and the allegation is that she made it available to him, it seems like she left the keys at home, but there's nothing to prove that he was meant to be driving that car, right? She left the keys at home when she went to Canada, but that wasn't the only car that was there. But he could have taken a fucking minivan and still been going 100 miles an hour, right, and caused an accident and killed somebody. So in this case, it's like what I wonder is like, what are we actually asking her to do? Are we asking her to put him into like a military school? Are we asking her to just restrict him from access to guns from cars entirely for fucking ever, or until he goes to like a psychological evaluation or something? Like what are we actually asking her to do?
Yeah,
to prove that this kid can operate an automobile.
Take the keys away.
And then what? So the kid, I'm sure the kid has to go to school, has to go to work, has to do all kinds of shit that you do when you're in your late teens. So if she can't be around to do that for him, because she's a high level person, very successful person, very busy, and she has no support, what do we expect?
She seems like she can afford Uber.
No, I don't.
Hold on,
She's
Uber's
rich.
done.
Hold on,
Yeah, like-
Hold on, if Doobie's done, I want to go out
If
to
the
Doobie.
Uber driver rapes her kid, we blame her for that, right? For not giving me access to a card when she had the means to do it. Like I think
that's
I
not
think eventually,
predictable.
Like I think it is. What do you mean? There's
You
plenty
can
of
get a
cases of that
bus to
happening.
school. You just take
I-
the keys
I wanna
away,
flip my
and they have to
position.
prove themselves. Like you have to just prove
feel like-
yourself. Like you get suspended for a while, then
I
prove
think
yourself.
Doobie's 100% right here. I actually, after I listened to everybody after me, y'all convinced me with y'all's arguments for to switch. Doobie is 100% right, especially when y'all started bringing up guns and shit. Y'all lost me. I like the idea that like the FBI is gonna call me up and I should just inherently trust the FBI. Like, you know what? I don't trust them motherfuckers. Like, I don't trust them
It wasn't.
motherfuckers.
Wait. It wasn't just the FBI. It wasn't just the
incentivize me to
FBI.
give that person a
It
gun.
wasn't just the
I'm
FBI.
just
The
saying, like,
kid was fucked up and drawing
I
pictures
know,
and
yeah,
writing
yeah.
letters and doing a whole spiel. There's a reason
listen,
why
you
the
know,
FBI
okay, hold on.
called.
Listen, if a kid's a little sus over there, yeah, okay, maybe watch him. I don't know, but like
Well,
you
yeah,
can't.
that's the point.
That's
Is that they're
price of
not
doing
watching their
that's
kids.
that's price of doing business, all right. But like you listen, like I can think of news stories where that like so listen. What does a gun do? A gun is the great equalizer, right? If so, like someone breaks in your house, I want my 10-year-old, 8-year-old kid who I've trained on guns be able to have access to that gun to go blow that fucking motherfucker away that dared come on the property and threatened us while I wasn't there to defend ourselves. That's what you want. No,
But
no,
you don't want that. No. Wait. Here. You have your 10-year-old.
There's no solution. But hold on, there's no solution that y'all can give me that'll exclude that scenario.
I can give you one right now.
Simultaneously,
I'll give you one right now. Hold up, real quick.
Another one.
You have a 14-year-old that you've given an AR-15 to for their birthday, whatever it may be, because the South loves giving kids guns. It doesn't matter. It's a shooting rifle, whatever it may be. You want to give them a shooting rifle? That's fine by me. Now you trust your kid. You have this trust within this 14-year-old who you kind of see enjoys the gun a little too much. Now you leave for work in the morning and you tell them to go to school and get ready to go to school. They're at home at school and then they just have access to the gun. Well, yeah, you don't want your 14-year-old to have just unlimited access to a gun during the midday when you're not home. Now, in the context that you provided, where there's a fucking burglar in the house and your son is Rambo, sure, no problem.
When do most burglaries happen? Midday. I want them to have access to the gun midday, especially if they're homesick for whatever reason. Now they're incapacitated. Yeah, you're fucking just wrong. You're just wrong. And there's no scenario you can give me where they
have a troll question, but I am kind of being serious. Okay, so you're obviously a little bit more right wing than me. We'll put it that way. So what if your kid has gender incongruence, meaning that they have gender dysphoria? They're having issues at school. They might be gay. They're getting bullied. And on top of that, they make threats that they're going to kill people at their school. The FBI shows up to your house. They show you the documentation saying, hey, your kid's gay. They're a little weird, whatever. They're getting bullied and they're threatening to kill people. Now what?
All right, take away all the bullets but one and leave the gun out and say, you know what to do.
Well, I trolled you a little bit. That's a relatively troll answer. So yeah, sure.
Okay.
Wait, Ali, you agree with that guy?
Yeah, shoot the burglar, right? Shoot the burglar.
Yeah, shoot the burglar.
Yeah, shoot the burglar with the one.
I don't think you're going to school no more. You're going to be homeschooled from now on. Hope you didn't have friends.
Okay.
Wait, guys. So you guys agree with the guy in Georgia being charged? He's being charged with fucking murder. It's like 8 counts of assaulting children, second-degree murder, and the 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. You think that's right? Do you think that's like justice?
What was the context of that shooting?
By the way, there's not a lot of evidence on that right now. We don't know.
I just need to know what happened.
We don't actually. Well, we don't know a lot of what happened prior, and that's the government, the prosecution's office. They may know more here. Yeah. Now, if from my calculation it's always going to be like, what did they know in advance, right? Like. I don't think it's like I should be implicated at all if I sell somebody a gun. But if I know that they're going to use this to like rob a bank, then maybe I should be implicated if I sell them a gun.
No. Okay, so what I've read into this on Blacktoid is...
you cut out the last second, but we heard the most of it. Go ahead.
Fuck you on Lactoid. So what I've heard about this is that so in I think last year there were anonymous tips called in about the kid. And they were told that he was making threats toward the school involving a rifle, etc. Right?
Those were deemed to be unfounded, though.
Exactly. So the local police look into it. They question the kid. They question the father. Find it to be unfounded. They find that the father does. There was like a gun culture within the family. He does take his son out shooting like deer and shit like this. So they're like hunters. So that's dropped, right? They found this. I think the wording that they used was there was no basis to move forward or something like this, right? There was no probable cause.
Insufficient evidence to move forward.
Yeah. And the kid says he didn't do it. He says his Discord account was hacked, etc. Right? So the father believes him. The police seem to believe him, or at least seem to believe that there's not enough evidence to move forward with anything. So they drop it. So 6 months later, he buys the kid a gun as a birthday present, and it's a rifle that they're meant to go out and hunt with.
How old is
he? I think he's like 14.
And does he have just like open access to it, or is it like the guardian?
It's probably just in the house, right, with the other guns.
Yeah,
because this is again like a hunting family in the South, right? So, so I think 6 months later that happens, and I think like 8 months later, is when the kid goes and shoots up the school, right?
So like what is that? Like 14 months after getting the gun?
Also,
or 14 months after the calls.
I want to say it was like 9 months or something after he got the gun, right?
And he got the
I'd
gun
have to-
6
I'd have
months
to-
after they got the calls.
So
Yes.
this is what I'm saying.
So
Dubey.
about 15 months since the
Let
calls.
DB finish.
Wait, hold on. But some people would say that he should be charged just on that basis that he got the gun after there were these anonymous tips called in, right? So
Well,
it's like a guilt before.
No, they did the evaluation. That's so
You're thinking of the other case. You're thinking of the other case.
The father did the necessary whatever. No, well, didn't they say like? I mean, the cops did an evaluation and they cleared it that he didn't make the claims were
didn't
unfounded.
Hear anything?
Yeah, they didn't do an evaluation of the kid. What they determined was
There's
is
not
they
enough
didn't have
evidence to do
evidence
anything.
to actually pursue anything. Is what they really determined. And I agree with Doobie that if that's all they got, if they're discharging this guy based solely on this, it doesn't feel like enough to me. For this
That's not enough.
Yeah, for this person to
But
credibly
the
believe.
Michigan case though, where like
Yeah.
they bought the kid a gun.
Crumbly, yeah.
There were messages from the school and the FBI, and like after the situation happened, like the parents are texting the kid and they're like, "We're just mad that you got caught." It's like, like they're like I said, there's a difference between like lack of awareness and like, okay, someone's just like making up like shit about your kid, or
Yeah,
at
okay.
least
So
presumably.
I'm
Yeah.
curious, right? So I actually walked through some of this with some other people on Discord yesterday or something, and I'm wondering where you guys think the line is, right? So if we, if it's okay to do that evaluation, say, hey, maybe it's okay for this kid to have access to a rifle because we go hunting and shit, and the
Mhm.
rifle's just in the house. Well, what if you have a kid has like violent tendencies, and you have like hammers and screwdrivers and kitchen knives around? Are you supposed to lock all those down too? And if he does take a kitchen knife or something from your house, and went like in a rage fit and go and stab some kid at school or stab the next door neighbor, do you think the parent should be charged because they didn't lock down all the knives in the
Yeah,
house?
so if you have a kid and you know that they have like violent tendencies where they erratically go grab knives or go grab hammers or screwdrivers or whatever the fuck it may be,
right.
yeah, it's your responsibility to monitor your kid to a point where they're not doing that because you are that's just like
Yeah,
inherently
what if
your
it's just violent
responsibility.
threats, right? So what if
No,
the kid's
you're-
being bullied at school and you know that the other kids are bullying him? Like, so when you find out your kid's being bullied, at that point, are you supposed to lock down all the blunt objects and anything like we use as a weapon in the house?
No, at that
Okay,
point,
I
that's
think-
time for you to become a parent and
No,
like
it's
like
got to be a reasonable standard. Like, so for instance, you would take your, like, let's say that your kid's getting bullied at school or whatever, they're having psychological issues. They say, "I'm so fucking mad, I could kill people at school or
Therapy.
whatever." Then you
Enroll
take
them
him
in
to a
boxing.
therapist, or
Oh.
you take him, no, actually, Gibbs, no bullshit.
Yeah,
If you
that'll hit
want to
people.
take them to
sport-
karate or
Yeah.
get a mentor or enroll
take
them in a
the- you
sport
take the
or something like
steps.
that. But what you're showing through that, because Doobie, I hear you, where it's not reasonable to lock up all blunt objects and all bladed objects in the household. What you're showing is that you're being proactive about the problem. So it's not whether or not nothing bad happens ever. It's whether or not you notice the problem, care about the problem, and
Took the
act on the
steps.
problem
Okay,
in a
so Connor,
reasonable standard. Yeah.
So let's say I take my kid to MMA classes or karate classes because he's being bullied, right? And I want to be able to defend himself. And then
Sure.
he uses what he learns here to break a kid's neck.
Good.
Like
Ugh.
if I'm going to be charged in the case of the shooting or of the car, right, for giving him access to this thing that he used to hurt somebody, why wouldn't I be charged in that case? Because I gave him
I
access.
think
to
it's
that
self-defense.
thing
I can actually, I
when
can
I
actually
knew
explain
when I
this.
knew that there was like some intense emotional mental thing going on that led
No,
me
I
to-
can
because there's a
I can
defense
explain this
aspect. Yeah,
because there's no martial arts studio on the planet
that teaches you to
that will
break necks.
teach you to
Yeah.
kill someone. Like they'll teach you tools like how to strike, how to do a palm heel strike, how to do an elbow or whatever.
Especially
but
kids.
almost every single martial arts studio like basically has a rule that this is for sport and this is for self-defense. We're not teaching you to be homicidal like assassins or whatever. Like,
And if they
every
do
single
teach
martial
that
arts
type
studio.
of stuff, they'll be liable for
they're
it, right?
liable.
Like
Well,
they'll,
Yeah.
and
liable.
they'll teach you to do it safety. Like whenever you do like a blood choke, like you hit a
Yeah.
certain angle, so that you like don't cause like permanent damage, like a trachea. or
Yeah, unless
something.
you're really
As
fucking
opposed-
Well,
mad and
Doobie,
wanna
Doobie, you
fuck
could
them
you
up.
could break someone's neck.
but
Wait, you could
there's
break
no-
someone's neck just by
these are-
pushing them or
Yeah,
shoving
but
them.
okay,
in
so but
basic-
actually, do be
and
this.
so on and so forth. So like
These are good
it's
questions.
the
But
intent
it-
behind the intent behind whatever's happening. So So if you have a kid that's being bullied, right, and they're defending themselves, it's not reasonable to assume that just like if you hit if your kid hits someone else's kid, they fall and they hit their head and they die. That wasn't the reasonable
I'm talking about
intent.
the-
No, but in
Yeah,
addition to
but-
that, when you're
Let's take
mad,
this-
you go to muscle memory, right? And if you've been training and you've been trained to do it the safe or proper way, you're not going to go to like, oh, I'm going to do a neck crank, which is something I never do. You're going to go to what you know and go
Not
to
even
the
talking about
choke that's
training.
on
No,
paper.
hold on, hold on, hold on.
Like, that's
Hold
just
on,
gonna happen.
To Doobie's point though, right? Like, the case in Florida, I believe, right? The latest one, Colt Gray, Colt Gray. Sorry, Jordan.
Georgia.
Georgia. Oh, Georgia. Georgia. Thank you so much. Georgia. So within that case, it seemed like the father was a trained hunter, right? Or he was experienced in hunting at the very least. And let's just say that he also took his kid to like gun range lessons or whatever, right? And they taught him the proper use of a firearm. And in those classes, right, either from a father or from some trained professional, they'll never tell you to like assassinate anyone, to kill people. They won't be training you for massacres. But this kids still use that weapon for that. So like, why is that different from martial arts, training your body to be more, effective violently? They won't tell you to do it, but you can more effectively hurt someone.
Well, it's unequal access, right? If you have like
Ali
a
is in
14-year-old who has unlimited access to a gun and they're getting like bullied and they're going to, defend themselves from the bully, well, you're no longer defending yourself when you have the great equalizer, right? You're not. This isn't equal standing. So like for kids, if you want to learn self-defense, it's body self, right? Unless you're sitting here injecting your child with steroids and putting them in situations where they're just becoming trained killers, right? If you just put them in boxing or karate or some type of thing where they instill a little bit of confidence, maybe they're a little energetic and they learn to like be able to push off someone instead of just running away or cowering. There's a difference between that and then having the gun, which is the only difference, which was the problem with it, is that like the only issue I have with the Georgia case is that if the kid had unlimited access to that gun, regardless of training, regardless of it being a shooting family, if your kid's underage, the gun should be locked up and he should only be able to have access to that gun while you are there. Like that's the difference.
That's not the law in Georgia.
Unacceptable.
But Ali, if that same kid had instead taken a kitchen knife and went to school and stabbed a bunch of kids in the throat, right? Would you charge the parents
the same standard?
No,
Yeah.
so no. It depends. Once again, so it's like the dad. There's nothing that leads up to the dad thinking. Once again, the cops came, they checked it out, they passed him. Whatever the fuck it may be. I mean, maybe the dad should have taken the extra step and done the psychological eval. But if the kid was like good enough to pass it anyways, it's the dad took the steps necessary. He saw the cops cleared him. It was about 14 months or 15 months after that situation that like the shooting happened, right? There's a lot that goes into play versus like the driving situation or the other. Like in the driving situation, the mom knows the kid is speeding. She has him tracked. She knows how many times he's going above 100 miles per hour. I think he's 16 or 17, whatever it may be. So like, yeah, if you have that bad of a kid and you're like, the only excuse is like, well, oh, I'm sorry, I'm a busy mom. Well, I can't mean like, then you're a bad mom. You're a successful businesswoman. You're a bad mom.
But that's kind of what Doobie's asking is, when does that become like criminally chargeable? And so
when your
actually,
kid
I wanted
kills
to
someone.
answer- Well, hold on, but that's not good
someone with
enough.
a hammer.
So for instance, like what we were saying with martial arts, if you take your kid to a martial arts studio and the martial arts studio trains him to do self-defense and they never train him to kill anybody, and then your kid goes and kills someone, that shouldn't be liability on the martial arts studio.
That's a
and it
different
shouldn't
type
be
of
liability
self-defense and killing.
And it shouldn't be okay, and it also
But it is-
shouldn't be on you for trying to get your kid out of their headspace. With the firearms thing, what I would say is it depends. So for instance, like, did you take your kid to go shooting to blow off steam and learn marksmanship with the Boy Scouts? I would be evaluating that totally differently than just, you and him rolling out into the fields in order to do whatever
Hold
the
up.
fuck. Like,
Your kid,
Why-
your kid
well, why
killing
would you-
someone in
why
a
would that
fight.
be any
Wait.
different,
Your
though?
kid killing someone in a fight. You couldn't have. You don't even necessarily have to take him to training. If your kid is in an altercation with someone and they shove someone in the wrong way and they fall and hit their head, there's a difference in level of like intent versus when you're in the car speeding. Now you're being negligent with someone else's life as a kid. Your mom knows what's happening, and you're in a like a fucking it's a 2-ton vehicle that goes 160 miles an hour. Yeah, there's a difference between your kid getting into a fight and an accident happening,
Two
and your kid being
tons.
like,
Can I
what?
ask, can I ask
It's
like a side
risk
question?
analysis.
It's sort of
likely.
related, but I just thought of this. So there are cases of in like high schools and shit, teens beating each other to death, right? Sometimes in like gang violence. Like you have like videos of gang kids jumping on someone's face, right?
Yeah.
So in those cases, if the parents knew that these kids were involved in like violent gang activity before they murdered somebody, do you think those parents should be charged?
Potentially, yeah.
Kind
If
of,
they're
yeah.
encouraging them to do it,
What if they
Yeah.
just didn't do anything to stop it? What if they just
Uh,
didn't see the
It's kind of
signal?
Yeah,
encouraging.
it's gonna have to be case by case, isn't it?
No.
Well, okay. Well, so here's my issue with like one of the things y'all just say. Like when you're talking about the gun culture and y'all talk about like going to things, like what if you're leaving out a whole segment of America, which is a lot of the like ranchers and agriculture, like right? Like you have kids who are like from like 8, 10, like 11 years old. If you're living out in the rural America, who have been using guns their whole life, like, hey, if I go out to my ranch now and I'm out with my little cousins, right, and I'm like, hey, go check the whatever. Some of them are old enough, they go out there and they'll do the cattle runs, right, and they'll have a shotgun over their back, and, you know, oh shit, rattlesnake, bam, oh shit, there's a coyote.
Yeah, they're
Let's make sure-
supervised.
Yeah, no, they're 12. They're out there in the fucking fields doing their thing. They're like hundreds of yards away. You know, you might be like, I might be in the truck over here working on the gate or
property, though.
something. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's like thousands of acres. I can't see them, right? Like they're out in the brush. For all intents and purposes, they're not supervised.
And they're on your
But
and they're on
there.
your
What-
property.
what
And if
age
someone,
are they,
wait,
Gibbs?
and
They're
they're
like-
on
they're
your
like
property.
eight-
And if
they're
someone's
like
trespassing on
8
your
to
property,
12, like
you're on a
8-year-old
standard
probably
ground
not in
state.
the bush
Everything
by
you're saying
themselves.
is fine.
12-year-old, you know, fine. Like they might be out in the bush. 12,
Gabe,
14-year-old.
or Gibbs,
Like
what age are these kids?
yeah, so like it varies, right? Like, but I'm saying, like, we
12.
had kids, yeah, like 12, they might be out in the brush by themselves doing something, you know, depending on
Okay.
what we got going
If
on.
a
But like, here's
12-year-old, Gibbs,
hold
I
on,
don't
hold on. Let
care-
me finish.
hold-
Let me finish.
Uh-huh.
Like, here's a so I posted an article in the thing of an 11-year-old who clearly was trained with it. He had access to a weapon. Thank God he did, because someone broke into his house and he shot him. You right there, Ollie, were advocating, just saying, hey,
He shot him
Dude, hold
outside
on.
the house while
Hey,
he was running away.
Paul,
Just-
you think-
regardless,
you're
regardless,
advocating
that's not
for
important.
child
Hold
soldiers.
on. Regardless, this is what you're advocating. You
That's
want these kids to be like SA
Defenseless,
and gang
yes.
raped and defenseless.
Yes,
you want
yes, all
you
of
want
that.
the most weakest members of
1000%. I want
that's what you're
defenseless
advocating.
children
You
running
want
in the
yeah,
streets.
you want defenseless
Yes,
children.
yes.
You want people to be able to just come over here to diddle them. You want the diddlers to get
No,
their
you
way.
just think
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah,
can go
that's
home
what
alone.
you
You
want.
just think
Hold on,
everyone
you're
will
saying
go
while
home
he
alone
was
with
running
it.
away.
And you
This
just
is
want
what
children
happens. First you
Rambos,
disarm the
child
kids,
Rambos running
then you
around the streets,
disarm
running
everybody
amok.
else. This is what you're doing. You're starting one thing.
You're not
going
allowed
there.
to want you're not allowed to want pro-American children soldiers, but then get mad when the Muslims do it. Okay, you can't get one thing and
I
not the
want
other.
both. I have more
Oh.
faith in my American child soldiers than your Muslim
Let's go to
children, I'll tell you
Corey.
that.
Let's go to Lactoid, and I'm sure Connor will have something to say.
I do.
I don't know if Rich is saying something to the panel or not, or maybe you're muted.
No, I'm fine.
Oh, okay, sorry. Well, yeah. So, well, first I want to maybe clarify a little bit Doobie's position, and then maybe a follow-up question based off of like what he said. So, so Doobie, the story from the topic of like pretty much the teenager that sped and they killed their passenger. So, in your mind, given like the circumstances of the mom, like that doesn't qualify as negligence. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't think so. This sounds like a single mother who just didn't have enough support and didn't really have the tools she needed to deal with this kid.
She could buy BMW though.
Okay.
Yeah, so then put them in boarding school.
So I'll
Okay,
follow
so-
up.
Go ahead.
Follow up. So I'm curious how you'd answer this. I'm curious how other people would answer this. So let's say you have a child, okay? They're same age, they're a teenager, okay? But they have a history, okay, of self-harm, okay? Cutting, basically. And they have a long history of that, okay? They sought medical treatment for that. But then, you, the parent, give them some brand new razor blades, okay? And then they off themselves. Does that, for you, qualify as negligence?
It depends on the intention of the razor blades. So if I gave them razors so they could shave their legs and they took the blades and cut themselves, which is typically what these kids do, right? That will take razors from their like actual like razors that they're meant to shave their legs with. Then no. But if I gave them the razors, just like fucking straight razors to like to cut themselves, and yeah, I would say that you don't get to do that.
You can get
But-
your
but
shit
I do think
waxed. You
that,
don't need razors.
But I do think that like that kind of calls into question the kind of line that I was talking about. So if you know that your child does cut themselves, right, or maybe they have like suicidal tendencies or something, and you give them access to a razor to shave their legs because they don't like being hairy, right? Should you be held liable if that kid ends up cutting their veins?
Yes.
I think that's
I think there's
ridiculous.
an argument there.
Like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Watch,
actually,
watch,
we've
watch,
had
watch, watch.
those
Oh,
situations
I can.
where I've worked like multiple times, and yeah, there are times when families have been advised to keep all sharp instruments away from their child. Like we've had to give that advice.
There's
Multiple
other
times.
methods of hair removal as well. Like you don't have to have a razor at home. If it's like your legs are hairy, you can wax them. If it's a beard that you're trying to maintain, you can go to the barber. Like there's always a way where you can supervise a child and maintain, because it's your responsibility, especially if you know that your child has a history of these things, to not give them just unrestricted access to the thing that's causing them harm.
Wait,
You have like a really hairy child. What if you have a really hairy kid?
I don't want to miss this. And
Like,
I want to address this
barber's
with,
not
this with
real
Gibbs.
answer.
Gibbs.
They look better hairy.
Gibbs. So you said that you have members of your family who are 12 years old, who you would trust with firearms to go on the property and handle it the way that they need to handle it, right?
Sure.
So what I would say is, you as an adult in America, you can make that decision if you want to. However, if that kid ends up accidentally killing themselves, I am 100% okay with the parent holding you civilly liable. 100%.
Well, the parents. First of all, the parents would be out there with us. I wouldn't be doing
Well,
that. Like,
then
they
I would
be
be
on their
okay
land.
with.
I wouldn't be just taking the cousin. This all. They would all have given permission. I'm not just gonna be like, round up all little cousins.
Wait.
We're gonna go out
Why
here."
wouldn't you do it without permission if this is something that's okay and norm? You need permission.
It is a
because
norm.
because you assume responsibility when
Hold
you
on.
get permission. That's the only reason you have to get permission, is so that you can assume responsibility.
Listen, now you're adding all these extra steps. I wouldn't. First of all,
No, I'm not.
Yeah, hold on. Everything that I'm talking about would be within the normal realm of duties, like for these kids, right? Like, say they were like, Gibbs, we need to go. I'm out here and I'm working, and I'm like, we're happy to do something.
But what are you given permission
to
do?
Let me
to
just supervise
the kids. That's the permission you're given. No, we can just get right from the beginning.
No, because
why? Right at the beginning,
you're drawing false equivalencies.
What is the permission for?
Let me talk, and I will explain to you why you're confused. All right, so it's real simple. Right? Say we're on a ranch. Like I said, this is all within the realm of their normal duties. And I go, hey, I'm going out to the I don't know, the Vicente. So we're gonna go over to the Vicente, and I'm gonna fix the fucking ranch, right? I'm not the ranch, the gate. And we're driving over there, and they go, hey, well, this needs to be done over there as well. What can you have? I don't know, cousin John feed the cattle, right? Sure. So he slings a shotty over his back, because you're not gonna be walking around feeding them cubes in an area full of rattlesnakes without a goddamn shotgun. Like, that's just 2 and 2. They all know this. All right, cool. They asked him to go. All right, I didn't even ask him to go with me. I'm going already. This is a normal.
To play with rattlesnakes.
No, they're not playing with rattlesnakes, jackass. This is a real simple thing. Like, they're going where I'm going to.
Jackass, but you're
because you're not understanding. Listen, because I'm going to do something on this pasture. Not all the pastures are connected to each other. Some of them, you'll have like the homestead, and then maybe like 5 miles down the road, I'll have another plot of land, right? So I'm going to this specific plot of land, right? They're like, hey, something else needs to be done over there. The kid, knowing that there's wildlife that could be a threat to them, there is going to have himself be armed, whether it's a pistol, maybe he's got a shotgun, whatever is appropriate for whatever he thinks might be in this little area. Like, if there's a bunch of rush, maybe a shotgun. If it's like, it's like a bunch of halves, something else. Like, it depends on what pasture we're going to. So they know this. The parents know this. They've asked kid, can you do something in this area while Gibbs is going over there, save fuel on the truck? Okay, cool. We drive over there. I'm working on the gate. He's doing whatever. If he shot him.
Story.
Well, because you're acting like, hold on, because you're acting like, I'm supposed to be observing this thing. This is something he would have been doing anyway without even me,
No. You're missing every fucking point. Does the kid himself have suicidal tendencies? Does he have homicidal tendencies? Wait. I just let you ramble a whole story that did nothing. Does the kid have any tendencies that you're aware of? And then, if you are aware of these tendencies, did you still hand him the fucking shotgun to go into the field where the rattlesnakes are, knowing that the kid is terrified of rattlesnakes and doesn't want to be around and doesn't want to work on the farm at 12 years old? But now you have the tendencies that are going into
work on the farm,
and then you hand him the hand them the shotgun, yes, it's your fault. But if you have normal ranch kids that are used to handling guns, and then they
Okay.
go into a field and something happens, I mean, sure, I guess you could say that it's whatever. But hold on, wait.
That's
My
totally
argument would
different.
then
It's totally
my
different
argument,
scenario.
my argument would then be, yeah, it's negligent to send your 12-year-old with a shotgun strapped to his back in case rattlesnakes attack him, so he can have a proper form of defense. Yeah, that's negligent.
How? If it's listen,
I don't
if
know.
you're
Maybe
talking about-
that's
if you're
something
talking
a
about like
child should be
Evo
doing.
Bob, who's
We have
slitting his
laws against
wrist,
these
yeah,
things?
sure. But like, if you're on a ranch, like self-defense against, like I would say you should be negligent. Say, okay, let's do
You
the
put
reverse.
them in a situation
hold
where they
on.
needed to
If
defend
you take,
themselves like
hold on,
that.
if you're on your
I'm
property
actually
and the
the-
kid doesn't have the
wife
weapon, he
needs
gets
me.
bit by a
I actually
rattlesnake.
have to
Okay.
go.
Okay, buddy. All right. Well, I enjoyed having you here, friend.
See ya.
No, I sorry, real quick, just so I can shut myself out. I know you guys are insanely passionate right now. I'm actually really happy that everybody's so passionate. Gibbs, if a kid shot himself in the face with a shotgun, I would still hold you civilly liable for it. And then just real quick, if you don't know me, my name's Connor. I run a YouTube channel named Counterpoints 40K. I break down the Warhammer 40K universe. The video game Space Marine 2 has just come out. It is phenomenal.
Very
If
good.
you have if you have a really good computer or Xbox or PlayStation, go ahead and get it. It's great. And then also parasocial love to all of you. We don't get to do this enough, but I appreciate each and every one of you.
Love you,
Always a
friend.
pleasure.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Be
Love
good,
you too,
man.
buddy.
Catch you later.
Bye.
So yeah, on the negligent argument though, just to finish here, if I would say the opposite true, if you send your kid out there and they got to do something on the ranch, they get bit by a rattlesnake, they don't have any way to kill the rattlesnake, then you should also get
Where
get
there's
charged.
rattlesnakes.
Bro,
Okay,
because listen,
so-
that's where we live. I'm sorry, bro.
No.
That's where they're living.
There's a
You sent the
difference. There's a
kid.
difference between a kid
You sent-
exploring and being around rattlesnakes, and then you putting them in a situation where they're working around rattlesnakes.
It's
There's
on
two
their
different
land. It's
situations.
part of the family business. There's ranchers, like cattle. This is what you do. This is our land. You gotta
so
know your land.
I gotta
bro.
go to
Like,
Lactoid because Lactoid has been waiting. But before then, I do want. I think this is what Gibbs is touching on is actually quite important, and it's one of the reasons why like sensible gun legislation doesn't really get anywhere. Is because we're having two different conversations in this country about guns, right? In the cities, we have very legitimate fears about guns and they're dangerous. We see like the bodies, right? We see the destruction that they cause. On the other hand, what Gibbs is saying is also quite legitimate, right? He's talking about people working in rural areas. They like a gun is necessary to interact with like the wildlife, right? And I don't know, like there's like a different like gun culture there. And there's different like incentives, right? Like if they don't have like if they're not protecting drug territory, right? Well, then they're not going to be, like doing drive-bys in the way that like you'll see in the city, right? Like so it's two completely different spheres, but like they exist in the same country, and we don't take this to account with this legislation. I don't know exactly how to like bridge this divide, but it's a thing that we have to do, right? When considering these things. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But I don't think that Gibbs is being like ridiculous with like what he's saying. It seems
point.
Yeah.
No. His
Like-
point of like it being a family access or even a lifestyle, even the culture within the South. I understand that kids get guns, and I'm not saying you shouldn't give a 14-year-old like a gun as a gift or whatever. All I'm saying is you have to fucking supervise them because a 12-year-old doesn't
Well-
have the mental capacity to make any real
Well, if you
decisions
walk
for
outside
themselves.
your front door and you get bit, okay. If I'm in a rural area, like let's go check my homestead, for example, right? If I go to my homestead and I have like hold on. If I go and I have, and this is just a normal homestead. This is like not where the cattle are. This is where we have like swings and all sorts of stuff. It's a big house area, and then we have some farm equipment way in the back. So there's okay. This is a normal area. There's kids should be running around safe. All right. If there's not somebody out there with a gun, then they should be charged with negligence because it's very likely, even in that area, you're gonna step on a rattlesnake. Like, I'm sorry, like, or javelina might
Gibbs,
show up.
I don't think
you gotta
even
put
in
it
the
down.
South
Like,
that there are just 12-year-olds walking around their houses with guns at every given
there
time.
are. There's a lot that, bro. You have to in some of these
I
areas.
don't know, consider Australia, right? Like where everything is trying to kill you. There's lots of things out there.
Those
trying to kill
12-year-olds
you.
should go like
Consider
walk the with pistols.
being
They
in
have
no,
no
no,
guns there.
actually they have like I don't know exactly what the situation is now because they have like a lot of gun reforms, but they do have rural areas, and I imagine a lot of those people are armed because like it's literally necessary,
They
right?
are.
I
Like
think Australia has some of the strictest gun strictest gun laws.
They do,
Yeah,
but
they
they have
do
exceptions for
now.
the rural areas, though.
Yeah, I
For
would. I
sure.
imagine they would have some exceptions. Now, I'm not
Probably
an
not
expert,
for
so I'm not going to make any
kids.
claims here, right? But like, it would make sense because again, like literally the most dangerous animals in the world are out there,
Yeah.
right? And it would seem to be the case that like you would need a level of protection to handle that. But all right, so let's let him lactoid.
Yeah, so I sort of disagree with the position that was proposed in opposition to your original point, Doobie. For me, the question is the legal concept of foreseeability. It's just that simple, right? How foreseeable is this? And foreseeability is going to be determined by, Ghosty said it very well, risk factors. We're just going to be looking at risk factors here. And so, generally speaking, it's fine to give it. Now, my personal opinion on this actually is I don't think anybody under the age of 18 should be driving a car. But assuming that we have the law allowing 16-year-olds to drive, I don't think it's on its face negligent to give a 16-year-old a car. But it is negligent if they're, and potentially criminally so, if they're doing it, if you're giving them a car knowing what they're going to do with it, if they're going to commit a crime with it. I mean, this kid was going 150 miles an hour. He was clocked several times going 150 miles an hour, and the mom knew about it. She absolutely, it was within her power to remove the keys if she so chose. She didn't have to buy the new BMW. And she failed to do really the most basic things to prevent this tragedy from happening. When it comes to guns, look, in my state, 14-year-olds can go hunt without supervision. You can go out in the woods and start shooting. Now, I'm actually a little bit uncomfortable with this, especially if I've got to hunt on public land, knowing that there's 14-year-olds armed that are potentially shooting in my direction. It's pretty unnerving, to be frank. But even then, right, if you got a 14-year-old who's like into hunting and the laws allow it, I don't think it's necessarily negligent to give that person a gun. But if they're threatening to shoot at their school, it is, right? If they're threatening to do a crime with a thing that you're going to give them, or if they have a history of doing the crime, then it's more foreseeable that the bad thing's going to happen. A razor blade to a kid's, it's not foreseeable that they're going to hurt themselves because most kids don't do that. But if they have a history of doing it, now it is foreseeable because it's much more likely that they're going to do it. Most kids with guns aren't going to go shoot up a school, right? And back in the 50s, kids used to bring their rifles to school for target practice. I mean, that was like a class that they used to do in PE, right? But, so most kids are fine.
In the 70s.
Yeah, in the 70s maybe even. So, most kids are fine with guns, right? Most kids are safe with guns. But a kid who has like a history of being malevolent with a firearm or threatening to use it in a bad manner, now it's more foreseeable. When you look at the history of this driving case, I don't know how you get away with it or get away from it without seeing like the overall evidence showing pretty clear foreseeability. And I think that's what they're going to hammer her with if they bring the charges, which is going to be, look, you knew he was speeding consistently. You knew that every time you told him not to speed, he would speed anyway. You knew that he was speeding recklessly, 150 miles an hour. This isn't just
it's not just speeding. It's like
it's not just
beyond.
speeding. It's well beyond. It's like double highway speeds at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking like racing speeds, and he did do drag racing. This is combined with the fact that the police visited his home. I think like the article said like 44 times or something around this, right? Like he was a known problem, and the mother was asking him to do illegal activities for her, like buy wine, knowing that he had a fake ID. And again, not doing anything to stop it, actually facilitating this behavior. Like what? It's not like we're asking her to do like, oh, she's a single mom. We understand the limitations.
Wait, the cops showed up 44 times?
I think
it's 22, I believe.
22 times. All right, they showed 22 times.
I thought it was 44.
You know what? At this point, like, so why does he even have a license? Like, does he have a license?
No, it was a fake ID, right?
No. He had a fake ID and a license.
We know he had a fake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, like, why didn't the police?
It was one of those. It was a junior license that requires an adult be in the car with them, right? That's what I thought I read.
At 16, you don't have to have that. Only
even then, I mean 16. So my thing is, why wouldn't the police have revoked the license before? Like at this point, if it's 22 times.
Well, the cops came to the house for other issues.
If I get pulled over, other issues. Because I say, if I get pulled over for speeding 22 times, I don't think they're letting me keep my license.
Look, this kid was a fucking brat. Let's just be honest about it. This kid was a fucking brat. He was an absolute shithead. He'd be exactly the kind of kid that you want to smack upside the head.
His mother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
like
do at
he
this
just
point?
is a horrible, horrible child, and you want to this is exactly the kind of person that you send to military school and whip them into shape. I got no problem with that, but at the same time,
Yeah, but if you're a parent that can't do that, like, are you gonna put like okay?
yeah,
So
but she could have. And by the way, if she sat and did nothing, the question's still a little bit closer. But she bought the kid a car.
Well, hold on. We don't know that.
A fast car. Like
She bought a fast car that he had access to. Clearly, she knew
That
this.
doesn't mean it was for the kid. Could have been for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the way I did.
Like even if she got like a fucking minivan, he could have taken that car and without her permission and driven around and killed somebody.
Yeah,
So-
and
so-
like
again, it's
BMW, why wouldn't you get
foreseeability.
BMW?
It's foreseeability and risk analysis. You're going to be more likely or not, or you're going to be more likely to speed with a long history of speeding in a BMW, and are you going to speed to such excesses compared to a minivan?
Why would she get a minivan if she's only got like one kid though? Like,
wait 1 second. So
it's just
She
her,
bought
the
the
kid,
kid
I
the
don't know.
To
BMW.
be clear,
You buy the
the-
kid a slow car is the idea.
this kid is 17, right? So you're saying they had all these contacts with the police.
He was 16 at the time, I think.
That goes back to 2018. So how old was he when he was having all these contacts with the police?
Okay, well, hold on, real
Probably
quick.
Very, very young. Right?
22 was right. 44 was wrong. 22 was the correct number.
Exactly double, conveniently though.
Yeah, exactly double for some reason. I guess I don't know why my brain did that, but still, since 2018, again, absolute snot of a kid, right? Basically, all throughout his
This is like
adolescence.
6 years. Hold on,
Well,
this
I
is 6
understand,
years.
but again,
This
it's a
kid-
pattern,
this-
foreseeability.
Hold on, I understand. Okay, but I don't think that the police activity or the context of police really contribute anything to this.
I disagree.
Because what it shows us is that the mother was having trouble raising her kid because her father died, right? Because this again, he's a 16-year-old. This goes back to when he was 10 years old, right? When these contacts with police started. So obviously, long history of the mother struggling to raise this kid, right? Struggling to keep him alive. So I'm curious, like, is your position just that she should have never given him access to a car ever? Like when is she able to give him access to a car?
My position is that when you are a parent over somebody, when you take on that responsibility, you have a obligation for their safety and the safety of the people that come into contact with them to some extent. And if it's foreseeable that they're going to harm people, you have some obligation to prevent that. Now, that's not even necessarily
That doesn't answer my question.
Well, hold on, I'm getting there, right? But in this case, she contributed to the problem, right? Which is, even if she wasn't his kid, or if she was not his mother, by the way, let's say the car salesman knew about his speeding record and sold him the BMW, I'd be fine with charging him too.
Yeah, I think that's crazy.
No, it's not crazy. Again, if somebody walks in and they have a history, they've robbed banks 18
bad with guns.
They've robbed banks 18 times, or they haven't been caught for it, but you know that they've robbed several banks, and they come in and ask for a gun and ammunition. If you sell it to them and then they go and predictably, foreseeably use that to rob a bank, you should be held responsible. You sold them the gun. You made the crime. You could foresee. Yeah, you could foresee the crime happening, and you facilitated the crime happening.
What if they use a kitchen knife that you sold them to rob the bank?
Is that foreseeable? Again,
yeah.
Risk. Yeah. Part of foreseeability is a risk analysis. Is it like a foreseeable that somebody's going to successfully rob a bank with a kitchen knife?
Hold on, hold
on.
That logic. Well,
No,
like, say you're a hobo. A hobo goes in, and he buys a big old thing of Mad Dog 2020. And he's like, I'm gonna drink all this. I got last $10. I'm gonna buy a couple of them, right? And so he gets wasted, and a few hours later, he like walks in front of a car. It's a hobo doing hobo things, and we all know he was gonna go and drink this and do stupid things under the bridge. Are we gonna go charge the gas station clerk?
Well, hold on. First of all,
no. Wait, Gibbs. You do charge bartenders with over-serving and allowing people to drive home.
If you know they're gonna drive home
in the bar.
The gas clerk. I mean, this guy, we knew he was the hobo.
If the gas clerk, if the gas clerk has foreseeable strong evidence.
It's the local hobo.
If the local hobo has a history of getting drunk and walking out on the road and causing accidents, then at some point, and you know this, you keep selling him Mad Dog 2020, which, by the way, I've had disgusting, by the way. Yeah, at
That's
some point,
ridiculous.
at some point,
it
you
is
should be
your
held
fault.
liable.
You're the
Yeah.
drug dealer.
Absolutely
You're
ridiculous.
enable. You're at the very least
But
enabling.
you're the gas station. You
It's
sell fucking
foreseeable.
bananas. Give
and
me
the
a
hobo's
break.
money is not going to
Well, that's
make or
But you're
break
not gonna,
your,
I mean,
you know,
even
your
then, you're no.
purchase.
Who are you to tell them the
Gibbs,
hobo?
you'd be
You
fine with
can't
me.
drink
You'd be
the
fine with
beer.
selling Al Qaeda a nuke because I mean,
Yeah, you're not telling the hobo
No,
anything.
hold
You're
on.
trying to prevent-
Hold
What,
on.
what do you think?
prevent the
Do you think that if you sell Al Qaeda a nuke, this is any different than if you sell Norway a nuke?
I will tell you why it would be different because Al Qaeda is working against America, and so I
Well,
believe
we don't know that. They just have a history of working against America. We don't know what they're going to do in the future.
No.
No,
That's
they're
out of our
judging them on a
circle.
pattern
They
that
could
you
turn
know.
a new leaf, Gibbs.
Well, hold on. I don't think we should give. I think we should have the nukes of control in Norway. Just to clarify my position, they shouldn't have command. It should just be American controlled
That's a
nukes
good question.
in those countries.
Well, no, but
American power.
no, I'm saying a privately held nuke. No, I'm saying
I'm
a privately held nuke because we both believe in
Oh,
capitalism.
well,
okay?
except for we're private citizens. And
Yeah,
yes, I think
private
we're-
citizen. Yeah, you're a private citizen. Are you?
American
Do you
citizen.
think the private citizen who sells Al Qaeda a nuke, and then they
No,
say,
no.
and then
You
they
can't
say,
sell
and then
it.
they say,
You're an American
I don't
citizen, that would be
know.
where I put the stop
No,
on it.
wait, Gibbs. And then they say, I thought, all I had to base off of this was Al Qaeda's past actions. We can't use that to predict future
because
actions.
You're rubbing one of my values up with one of the other ones, which is like I like Al Qaeda nefarious actors, right? I would argue if America was to sell
how do you know
a nuke
how do
to
you
another
know
American,
how do you know they're
What if it's a
nefarious
new
actors?
terrorist group?
Wait, how do you know they're nefarious actors?
They're adversarial power, bro.
How do you know they're adversarial?
We know.
How do we know? How do we know?
know.
Tell you.
How do we know?
They tell you. They say
No. They told us in the
Now
past.
this is
They
over
told us
on
in the
this
past.
side.
Right now, as we talk, how do you know that Al Qaeda is an adversarial power?
Yeah, but this is totally different because I don't give a shit about.
You're not answering.
Like
You're not
their
answering.
rights.
I'm
I know
asking you.
about
like-
the- the
I'm
rubbing
asking
against
you.
the
I'm asking you a very direct question. How do you know that Al Qaeda is an adversarial power going forward? How do you know
He's
this?
like,
One
He's
of them
like that.
essentially the various. One's like one might something happen. Like
He's
how
like-
do you
he's
know?
he's like Donald
know.
Trump, right? He gives him a handshake, looks him to the eye, right, and he sees their soul. Like Donald Trump saw Putin's soul. So when he talks,
Yeah, I'm saying.
then he'll know.
Wait,
How
you
Putin-
saw
he-
their
he
soul,
knew-
but
he
how do you
knew
know their
Putin
soul
was
hasn't
his-
changed?
He knew Putin was his bitch and wouldn't invade.
How do you
Ukraine
know?
while
How do
he
you know
was
Putin hasn't changed? How do you know?
Exactly. He became. He
Ocular
did
platinum.
change. He saw a weaker president and took advantage. You're right.
Okay, I'm gonna answer the question that I'm asking because it's obviously rhetorical. Okay, here's the answer to the question I'm asking. The reason we know that selling a nuke to Al Qaeda is a bad idea is because of Al Qaeda's long and sordid history of using weapons against innocent populations and U.S. interests. And based on that history, the history alone, we can predict that if they get a hold of nuclear weapons, it will be very bad. They will use it poorly. In the same way, we can predict that a kid who has repeated instances of going 150 miles an hour repeatedly over and over and over again might do it again if they get a BMW. They might even go faster. And in fact, that's exactly what we saw. Wow. A hypothesis that was proven because what happened? He killed his friend.
Look, it's science.
Can I?
Oh wait, Gibbs. I want to. So Gibbs, based off of what I know of some of your degrees, okay, you have them framed in a certain way, right?
Yes.
Okay, but why?
We just got to show off these wonderful documents.
No. Aren't they framed in bulletproof glass?
Oh no, not that one. That one is.
Yeah, but why?
To preserve it.
From what?
It's what? Why? Why? Like, have you always framed everything in bulletproof glass?
Something happened, right?
No, I mean you always get it in that.
No, you don't. You got that.
So you've made this has always been your pattern of behavior, as in I get a picture and I get a degree and it's going in bulletproof glass, it's encasing. Why did you make that decision? Or that's always been your decision?
I saw National Treasure once, and we made sure we put it in there.
You're such a liar. I know.
You lost his appetite for bullets, Corey. It's okay.
Reason before, and you're lying. This is another maybe yes, maybe no Gibbs moment.
I don't know. Don't worry about it. You ask all these questions.
See,
now, Gibbs, you always bite bullets, and this time you won't.
I don't know what I don't know what the implication of the glasses. You want to preserve things.
Let's go to
The implication. The implication is you are incorporating past behavior and past information into your future decision making.
Doobie, love to hear what you have to say.
So, So what's interesting to me about Lactoy's position is that earlier you were going on and on and on about how the government shouldn't be paternalistic.
Mm-hmm.
Now it seems like you want the government to step in and punish people when they're not raising their children the way that you'd like them to. Right. So you do want them to be sort of paternalistic, but only when it's like punishing people, right? You don't want them to guide people away from the bad decisions. That's really interesting to me. But just that aside, really quickly, I was reading more of this article that you posted, Prime, about this car kid, and 2 weeks before the accident, there was a fight between him and her, where the kid actually like broke a table in the house and freaked the fuck out because she wasn't letting him use the car. That was 2 weeks before. When it happened, she was in fucking Canada, right? So it seems like she was trying to get him to stop, trying to restrict access to the car.
No, she
and this kid was violent.
wasn't.
What do you mean? No, she wasn't.
So okay, you can okay. So if you have a kid, yeah.
I just told you that they had a fight because he wouldn't let her use her.
Yeah.
She had grounds to call the
So
cops
wouldn't let him
actually,
use
and
the
like get him probably whatever charged or
Yeah, call the
whatever.
cops.
Military school.
Send him to a military school.
Military
Get him
school.
to a position where he has a protect.
I know that you've heard the fucking horror stories that come from these military schools about kids being raped, bullied, beaten, suicidal, et cetera, right? So like, I don't think any parent would want to put their kids in that kind of position. Like many parents,
And that's not the norm. I mean, you can avoid school.
One is situations happen, but two, it's like yes, I understand that you don't want to put your kid in that position because it represents that you were failing as a parent or you're not able to fulfill your duties as a parent. But you're kind of saying it to yourself. This mom is at her wit's end. She doesn't have a father at home. She has too much responsibility. She can't handle this responsibility. Well, okay, if you can't handle this responsibility, the alternative is you do something you don't really want to do, which is your kid goes somewhere and gets raised by someone else. Or the alternative, which is this: your kid kills somebody, and now you're looking at potentially going to
Do you
jail.
think we should force single mothers to give up their children if their children?
No. Whoa. This isn't the case for every single for every single mother.
That's not what I said. So if their children are at risk of ending up in gangs or are in gangs, do you think that we should charge single mothers for like negligence or something like this for not putting their kids in military school or whatever?
If your kids
the
are
mom
knowing,
facilitates it.
Yeah, if your kids are knowingly just in gangs and you're just like, well, I can't do anything about it. He throws a tantrum every time I tell him.
Whoa, no. Hold on. What if the mom like facilitates it? Like, what if like your kid joins the Crips or whatever, and then like the single mom like, yeah, like I got you a new blue bandana and a blue shirt and like and a map showing the locations of all your rival blood members.
Run a hypothetical that makes more sense, right? And it's more relevant to the situation, which is she tells him not to be in the Crips. She tells him not to be in gang activity. He does it anyway.
And then she buys him a gun.
He throws a massive fucking fit, right? So in all
and then she buys him a gun for protection.
No, she doesn't do that. So eventually the kid goes out, gets into a fight with a rival gang member, jumps somebody, and kills him. Do you think that mother should be charged with negligence or put in jail?
Yeah, because at a certain point, if you're okay, I'm sorry, and I know this is gonna be tough for a parent to hear, whatever it may be, but you have to make tough decisions as a parent. If you've exhausted your resources and your kid just like you're telling, hey, you cannot go out and join this gang, and he's throwing a tantrum and he's threatening to beat you over the fact that he wants to join a gang, and your only option is like, okay, I guess Timmy has to join a gang, or I'm gonna get my ass beat. Well, then call the cops because your kid's a fucking threat and a nuisance. Tell the cops that he's joined the gang and get your kid thrown in jail or whatever it may be. Because at a certain point, yes, if you cannot handle the responsibility of raising your kids to avoid the negligent part of going to jail or getting charged for their crimes, take care of the kid, which would be some type of military school therapy. Take some precautions.
You can't. How are you going to make this rebellious kid go to military school?
You guys are like, hold on, but you guys are like edging even like closer to fascism than I was earlier, right? You guys are talking about. If your kid is at risk of being in a gang or is in a gang, even if you're trying to get him to stop, even if you're trying to encourage him to drop the gang activity, you're trying to do other things. If it doesn't work and that kid is in a gang anyway, or if he's resisting you and he kills somebody, well, then you go to prison.
No,
right? Because you weren't raising the kids.
Because you're okay. Because you're more okay with your kid.
One second. We gotta let Ghost again. She hasn't had a chance.
Just real quick. I think the difference is the parent taking like positive actions to help like prevent this in all of her power. So maybe she doesn't have resources to send her kid to military school, but is she being neglectful about the fact that he's joining a gang? So therefore, is she leaving guns around, or is she like making sure that he doesn't have access to these guns?
You don't need a gun to kill somebody. Right? He could just
I'm
go
just
jump
saying-
somebody with all his gang.
Yeah, but
friends
is she
after-
contributing
certain
to it?
point-
Is she making it
at-
easier?
Doobie,
Trying.
at a
Yeah.
certain point, as that parent, you're accepting one of three things, right? You're either gonna disown your kid because he's not fucking listening to you, or you're just okay with the fact that they're in a gang, so
No,
you're just
that's
gonna let it happen, or you're gonna try to get your kid put somewhere where they can't do these
That's
types of
not
things.
true.
You don't okay if your kid
You
isn't
can't
listening
prevent
to you and if you have an at-risk youth, you're a single mother, he's not listening to you, you've exhausted your resources. What are your options other than just letting it happen, trying to prevent it with police or military and like exhaustion, or just disowning your kid? What are your options if
You
all
keep
the other
trying.
ones are
Kids don't
exhausted?
change overnight. People don't change overnight. So a lot of times it takes a long time and a lot of like interactions, arguments, a lot of bad shit happening for a kid to realize that, hey, yeah, actually being in a gang is a bad
Yeah,
idea.
or killing someone.
Right? Yeah, or killing
I'm pretty
somebody.
sure this kid isn't gonna speed
usually
anymore,
they
but
go
look
to
what we
prison
got
after killing
to.
somebody, and they're even further in the gang, right? So it doesn't make any sense to say, oh well, hey, if you try it and they're not listening, then you got to put them in military school or you go to prison if they kill somebody. Like that's fucking ridiculous. Like that's
Well,
not-
I think where I'll back up Doobie a little bit here is the extent to which what he's saying is these situations can get really complicated and it can be difficult to know what the right thing to do is. Like I think in the broad strokes, what Ollie's saying like makes sense. But there are all these like different, and this is something Doobie loves to do. He loves to change the scenario just a little bit more, to where it gets like situations get really gray. And the fact is, those gray zones do exist. So I think it's legitimate to say, well, if you hold this parent responsible for this thing, what other like grayer scenarios can we imagine that'll happen because of this as a precedent? But I think this is something that's been a precedent for a long time. Parents have been responsible for what their kids do for like forever. I don't think it's ever not been the case where parents like have that sort of liability for what their kids do. So I just think that it's at least reasonable though to look at those gray zones and those complicated areas. I have had students in the past who were so, seemed so impossible to reach that I had no idea what their parents were going to do to fix that situation because it didn't seem like they were fixable. But I will say this: I think that parent must have had some sort of resources available to her if she's buying a new BMW,
It
right?
was a $70,000 car.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. Here's my thing with this, right? And then y'all kind of you just talked about the shades of gray. And this is actually, I think, a really good, interesting thing, right? When we look at this, you talk about shades of gray. If this happened 2 years from now, right? So she's 18. Oh, okay, cool. No harm on the mom, right? You're not going to charge the mom with negligence if this person had turned 18 and then done this.
I still
right?
would. Yes, if
that's
she buys him a $70,000 Beamer,
It's ridiculous. No, absolutely not. Like, if they're an
That's
adult, we're like, you now you are literally advocating for
that
fashion.
an accomplishment.
can tell
I
you
know
the
what the
laws
kid is
about
doing.
being
when is this mother
crime.
allowed to
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter
well,
if you be a minor.
30 years from
It's
now,
not, wait.
he's gonna, like,
Wait.
30 years from now, he's gonna crack.
It's not because after he's 18, he's not charging her because she's still his mother. He's charging her because she understands that what the kid does, and then she's purchasing the tool or weapon that encourages
Makes her an
the thing that she's
accessory.
doing.
Yeah.
He
You don't have to
called
make
her-
it
he-
necessary.
he
The
called her-
liability,
he
the
called-
liability,
no,
they won't
no,
do
no,
anymore.
this
The
is
liability
what
is
you
a
are.
preventer-
This is
you're an
ridiculous.
accomplice at that point.
No,
There's a
this is
difference.
ridiculous. This is ridiculous. All right, look.
It
say,
isn't.
Say she catches him drinking beer when he's 16. Okay, he got caught drinking beer underage. All right, 30 years from now, it's I don't know, New Year's party. They bring a keg to the house. Bobby gets drunk, gets a DWI, kills somebody. Oh man, 30. Guess what? We gotta go get mama.
Wait,
We gotta
is he
go.
an
Hold on.
alcoholic?
Not
over
Mama,
foreseeable.
Daddy,
30
hold on. Mama
No,
and Daddy.
yeah.
Mom and Daddy didn't bring him this keg, but they
We can live in nuance.
they
We
sent
can
him
live in
somebody
nuance
that was spent
hypothetically.
on the keg. Hey, let's go convict Mom and Daddy.
No,
for this
that's
The problem is, I don't think you can
because
cite.
they
I don't
knew
think you
that
can
he
cite
could.
that
He
that's
might have
ever
a drinking
happened.
problem.
We can
Like,
live in nuance and
precedent-
hypotheticals
This
all
is
day.
law.
It's the
I'm
same
sure.
with Hunter
It is-
Biden
I'm
case.
sure.
If your
our
son,
friend Lactoid-
if you call your kid underage drinking at 16 and 30 years later they've been an alcoholic all these years and they come over for a Thanksgiving party and you're enabling their alcoholism by feeding them alcohol.
Yeah, we know alcoholism, but like, what?
Yeah,
How do we
I-
know? What's the
look,
sign? We caught him at
I'm-
16. Maybe they're
I'm
all
People
sure,
have alcohol
young.
syndrome,
I'm
Maybe
maybe.
they're
sure
not.
our friend Lactoid could explain to us, right? Like there's some sort of like causal relationship between like the offense, and like the consequences. So like like we understand that in law we don't have these cases. Just like I go say, like you can't point to a case of something like that ever happening because as a matter of law, we just don't charge people in that way. But in any case, let's like move past this because I mean, honestly,
can I ask Scooby one last question? Because I think Aiko was 100% right when he said that the argument against this is moving towards grayer and grayer areas, and for the concept of foreseeability is always going to be a little bit, or not always, but it can be a little bit gray because what is foreseeable and what's not, it's going to be dependent on a whole bunch of different factors. But I mean, there's also scenarios that we can make it less gray. We can push it to be much more contrasted. So Doobie, like, would you sell sarin gas to Osama bin Laden?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, and let's say that like Osama bin Laden, or maybe even better, like somebody comes up to you and they're shaking and they're saying, I'm going to gas them, I'm going to gas them, I'm going to gas them. And then you're a sarin gas salesman, right? That's what you do for work. Do you think that you should not have any consequence whatsoever
profession
by selling this man a large quantity of sarin gas? Do you think there should be no consequence on you?
If he was like I can't use that word. If he was crazy, right, and he was saying things like this, sure, I think there should be a consequence.
Okay, sure. And because this is like no longer gray, right? Let's say somebody came in and they were not like, they didn't seem crazy. In fact, they seemed like a gentleman, okay? But you knew they had actually gassed 4 other subways and they were asking for a large subway type quantity of sarin gas from you. Do you think that you should be charged if you sell them that amount of sarin gas?
Yeah, I should.
Thank you. All right. That's
Wait, hold on. No,
we think the car example we think the car example is closer to the sarin gas than the more gray examples.
Bring it closer toward what is relevant to this conversation, right? So this kid wasn't, oh God, I just got to speed right now. I just got to speed right now. He wasn't like a crazy person, right? It doesn't sound like it. Even in the cases where
kind of seems like
his history demonstrated that.
Wait, hold on. Even in those cases where he was speeding, these are all like months apart, right? So it was like multiple times in a month, but over the course of like a year, right? There are many days in a year.
Multiple times a month. You just said it.
We don't know. Yeah, okay. But again, he could have been driving that car every day of that fucking month, right?
Oh, so just because they don't speed every single day.
Then a couple times he got up to like 120 because he was like the wide open
155.
150 because he thought it was cool on a wide open road, right? So it doesn't mean that every time they get into a car, he's like a speed freak. He's gonna go fucking crazy, right?
But it's at least like 4 for 30.
It does seem like he had a really
wait. Hold on, you're wrong, Doobie. You're just wrong on this. In the 2 weeks before the crash, the app recorded 94 trips, and half of them, he was driving over 90 miles an hour, and the highest speed recorded was on November 1st within those 2 weeks, in which he drove 153 miles an hour.
Wait, 94 trips?
94 trips and over and half of them were not over 90 miles an hour, and on one of them he was driving 153 miles an hour.
A trip is anytime you turn your car on or off.
And that's in the 2 weeks. In the 2 weeks prior, that means he was doing what? Almost 40, 45, 46 trips.
When I was younger, man. I had a V8 Jeep Commander. I was racing my buddies down a fucking main road doing 120. Like you're just a piece of shit kid sometimes. And it's like my parents weren't aware. They didn't have tracking technology to know that I was doing this, so they weren't necessarily catching me. Yeah. I would just get caught doing get tickets. But like we have like an ongoing problem in like Dearborn where it's like, yeah, 16-year-old kids are getting fucking Dodge RT Scat Packs. Right, they're getting Charger Scat Packs and Challengers and fucking Infinities, and it's like, yeah, because you have rich parents who come here, built a great life for themselves. They want to give their kids a great life. Your kid does not need a CTS-V. Your kid doesn't need a 500 horsepower. A 16-year-old doesn't need a 500 horsepower Cadillac to get to fucking high school and gym practice. Right, but these kids are whipping down the streets and they're doing 100 miles an hour, 120 down like main roads. We have accidents happening. At least once a week, someone's dying from a car accident in our city. Like it's
the most un-American thing I've ever heard. You don't want them to have 600 horsepower engines in their car. This is what you want. This is the pussification of America we keep talking about right there. We want big engines and like beef. It's what's for dinner. I don't want
adult, this. But why does a 16-year-old need a fucking Dodge Hemi Ram that they can't even see over the fucking steering wheel?
That's why. Vroom. You don't need any other reason.
So they can speed. That's the only answer.
I'll let Doobie go first. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
This
do we
is
know
so
when the
un-American.
mother went to Canada?
Let me look.
Because it says that she
What
was
does
in
that matter?
Canada. Well, it says that she was in Canada when this happened, right? And I'm
So
really curious to see if she was in Canada for some or all of that 2 weeks that he was driving like that.
I mean, just keep in mind, like it was a consistent record before that too. But I'll
yeah, wait.
I'll try to find when she
Even
left.
even I get Doobie's point. She wasn't there for the 2 weeks, so he took advantage of the fact that his mom wasn't there, and he sped extra because his mom wasn't there. You left your 17-year-old at home alone with a brand new BMW, knowing that he has a history of speeding. Yeah, like I mean, you're giving a spoiled rich kid just access to whatever the fuck he wants.
Okay, but again,
It's not like he hotwired the car,
Ali,
right? The keys were
Ali,
right there.
Ali, if he had taken a fucking
Oh.
minivan and he could still speed and kill somebody.
I know, but
So-
like,
so are you
wait.
saying-
Well,
so are you
he
saying
could,
that
and
if-
he
wait,
should be
Doobie,
responsible for that.
Wait, Lactoid.
Yeah.
Doobie, remember the case?
Yeah,
Remember the case a
history.
few years ago where there was I think it was like a 15 or 16-year-old kid, 14 maybe. They were driving drunk. They killed someone. They got off because they claimed that they were so spoiled that they didn't know what they were doing was wrong. Is that then okay with you?
Wait, hold on. I don't
That's
think
influenza. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
that's not really
Affluenza.
Oh, affluenza. I was making it wrong.
Because
Sorry.
Ali, did you not know what you were doing was wrong when you were doing it?
No, I knew what I was doing was wrong.
Okay.
But hold up.
I'm sure this
There's a
kid knew what he
difference.
was doing was wrong.
What I'm
and
doing,
he'd been
what I'm
chastised for it before.
if you have a kid who's suffering with affluenza, which is like they're too affluent to know what the fuck they're doing, you're kind of catering to this kid and you're giving them free access. You're not punishing them, whatever it may be, and then they go and they commit the crime, but then they get away with it. You're saying that the kid should like really like. There's no liability because the kid wasn't raised properly. And then the mom doesn't suffer any consequence because she just was too strung out. She couldn't raise the kid, which by the way, it's not like this mom was like working 2 jobs because she had, like she was working successful jobs, successful enough to get her 17-year-old a BMW. Like she had access to helping this kid out or means of prevention to do this.
Wait, hold on. I don't agree with the affluenza thing. So I don't know why you think that. Like I don't think that that's real or reasonable. I think if you do a bad thing, even if you're rich, like you should be punished for it.
Well, no, I'm saying like like in this situation, the mom knows that the kid has a history of speeding. She is affluent enough to buy her 17-year-old a BMW. The kid does these things and like whatever, like all these things are, I guess, essentially okay because the mom just has no responsibility over the child.
No, it's hold on. It's not okay. Obviously, the child should be punished. Like so. I mean, he did kill somebody. He was speeding, right? Engaging in like very dangerous activity. I just don't think it's okay to charge the mom for something that she really didn't do, right? And you could see there's a history of her trying to parent him, trying to encourage him not to do this thing, telling him how much it scares her. There's a history of them getting to fights over this, right? So it's
That's
like
not
he wasn't-
parenting. Just telling
Or
your
they're
kid that this scares me
responsible
isn't parenting.
for
And
their
then like letting them
children,
have
they're
access to the
responsible-
car after
hold
they
on, but I'm
threaten
sure,
to like.
But I'm sure this isn't the extent of her parenting, right? When they were home alone, I'm sure home alone. I'm sure they had arguments about this. Clearly, they did because the police were called sometimes during those arguments, right? So like
Okay,
we have like a snippet of their lives, and we're making a bunch of judgments about them based on this, and it just doesn't make any sense to me to take what we have and say, oh, because you allowed your kid to have access to a car and he made a dumb decision and used that to kill somebody. We should
You
punish the
gave them
parent.
access
Because-
to a
because,
new
like-
car
like-
with a stronger
It doesn't
vehicle.
matter.
Like,
It doesn't. You don't really care what kind of car it is. Like I said earlier, if it was a minivan and he sped in that and killed somebody, you would still want her charged, right? So effectively, you're saying that she needs to make sure he has no access to any car.
well, yeah, because he
for-
proved that he's not
for
responsible
an
with it.
indefinite. Hold on, for an indefinite period. Like how long? 2 years, 3 years? Like when does she get
Wait,
to allow?
if anything,
Wait,
if anything,
when does
wait,
she
if
allow-
cops
when
were
does she get to
involved,
allow her kid to have a car?
wait, if cops were involved, if anything, yeah, this kid should have a suspended license at minimum for a few years in order to have, because if you get caught doing double the speed limit, that's reckless driving and you do lose your license pretty fucking instantly. So yeah, actually this kid should have no access to a vehicle. So for as long as the reckless driving suspended license would stand.
Wait, hold on.
Ghosty.
But he didn't have a suspended license.
I know, and I'm saying
Okay,
I'm
so
saying
how
he should have. So
how
like
long does she?
Where are you
remove
saying that
the-
she's in
minimum
Canada?
2 years. Minimum 2
it's in the
years.
Detroit Free
It's at
Press
the start of the article, I think. Yeah,
Did it?
you just control that Canada.
At least a
Lawless
year.
control of
A
Canada.
minimum 2 years, but I'd say probably a minimum of
But
2 years
hold
of
on, but
unrestricted
Ali,
access.
and
We
then
have a
what?
history.
So like, let's say, hold on. So he doesn't have access to a car for 2 years. So 3 years later, you give him access to a car. like, how does she know? How do any of us know that he's not immediately going to start speeding again because he's been like
Well,
hankering
he
for
would
it?
get
To be
his own
fair, I
access
kind of
to a
disagree
car
with
'cause he would be an
Lactoid. After
adult.
18, I don't really give a
Yeah.
fuck. I don't think the parent is like
No,
necessarily
well, Lactoid said
responsible.
Lactoid said he
I
would
said I
charge them when they
disagree.
turned 18.
I know. I said
Oh,
I
okay.
said I
difference
said
is if
I
he
kind of
gets his own
disagree with
access.
Lactoid on that point. Like after 18,
Wait.
I do think
If you're hold on, if somebody's over the age of 18 and you make available to them despite knowing what they're doing, make available to them a weapon, you think this is kosher?
No, okay, so like here's the thing. Unfortunately, like cars aren't weapons, and to Doobie's point, you could buy them a fucking
Yes,
like
they are.
busted Mini Cooper. I know that, but they're not classified as weapons. They're classified as
No,
transportation
but hold on. I understand, but like they're weapons in this sense, like that they're a risky item.
I
Like
agree with
they're an
you.
item that you can use to kill
Yeah,
people, and
you
that's
could,
exactly what
but-
happened.
But that could literally be anything at that point. So like if like
it can be
that's kinda where,
it can be
you know,
anything, but again, there's like I understand there's the gray area. Well, technically, you could kill somebody with a toothpick. Yeah, sure, I agree.
Yeah.
But like the foreseeability is going to scale would be commensurate with the risk factor. You know, there's a huge difference between selling Osama bin Laden, 18 metric tons of sarin gas, as opposed to a toothpick. Can he
Yeah, but I
kill?
don't think-
Can
I
he
don't-
kill someone with both? Yes.
Yeah.
Technically.
So, like,
Isn't this
once
a
they
bit
have
like
laws
laws against-
wait, Lactoid,
Isn't this a bit like laws against
I-
over-serving?
Wait, no, I
that's,
only
that's
yeah,
what we brought up
that's-
before. Yeah.
Lactoid, to the point that you're making, I agree. If this kid had his license suspended, he shouldn't be able to buy a vehicle at all because you don't even have legal like means to drive it. Even though if you do have a suspended license, you can buy a vehicle. Just so like we're clear, you can buy, you just can't drive it. So like, but what I'm saying is like, if you suspend someone's license, like let's just say the kid got his license suspended at 17. His mom knew he had a history of speeding, whatever. 2 years go by, he didn't drive. He got his license back. He passed the driving test, whatever it may be. I don't think it's reasonable to like hold the mother or the car dealership at that point.
No. You are changing the facts to make it
No,
less.
I am.
Right, but you're making it
Yeah,
less.
because
You're making
to
it
Doobie's
less
point, yes.
foreseeable. Which hold on,
Yes.
this is not to Doobie's point, okay? Because
No, no,
in this particular case,
Doobie asked me how long should he be restricted from the vehicle
yeah,
access?
yeah,
Well,
it's going to be
allowed to buy cars.
it's going to be a case by case basis, right? If you
And I'm
have
giving him first case.
if you have somebody who after a couple years, like they've demonstrated that they're actually not reckless, they've
Yes.
demonstrated
They
that
don't
they've
have access to a car.
so they
They
don't
do
drive.
driving
Yeah,
school again.
yeah, they do some kind of driving school. They don't drive for
Yeah.
a year, and then they get back into it slowly, not
Yeah.
with like a sports car, but with like some fucking minivan with a speed
They can
governor
also
on it.
go
They can only go a maximum of 45 miles an hour. I don't give.
Well,
I
you
don't
could
fucking
throw
know.
governors on
Like
there,
like
too.
like
Yeah.
here, like the levels of like. We're talking about flagrant like abuse at this point. This isn't just like going 90 and a 70. This is going. He was going 100 at the time of the crash that killed his friend.
That's
he was
like
going.
triple
He
any
was
speed
going
limit.
100. No, quadruple. He was going 101
Yeah.
in a 25. So
I'm just
again,
saying at minimum, it's triple. or
yeah.
double.
So there needs to be like some kind of like pump on the brakes, like figuratively, but potentially literally here too. And there needs to be like some kind of evidence demonstrated that like, oh, like this, he is like reformed. He is like taking a break. There is like a change in personality here that demonstrates this person is like less of a threat. But this is not what happened. In the 2 weeks prior to this, he consistently demonstrated that he was speeding a lot by a large margin.
Lactoid, do you think people with speeding tickets shouldn't be allowed to buy cars?
I think if you get a certain amount of speeding tickets, yeah.
You lose your license.
Okay, what if you have two,
Oh, the
like, two
socialist Lactoid's
Hold on.
back.
Yeah.
What if you have
You
like a
lose your
single speeding
license.
ticket a couple weeks before you go to the dealership to buy a car?
If you get a single speeding ticket in a few weeks, that's probably not enough for me to think
No,
it's
a couple weeks
foreseeable.
before.
Yeah, a single one. This kid clocked for over 45 times
I'm
of
not
speeding
talking
over
about
90.
Four
I'm not
speeding
talking about
tickets, you
kid,
lose
I'm
your
talking about
license, Doobie.
It seems like you're saying. I understand, but it seems like you're saying that if there's like a foreseeable circumstance in which if this person has access to a fast car, they're going to speed, they could kill somebody, etc. So if somebody has a couple speeding tickets and they go to the dealership with those tickets on the record, they have a history of speeding at least, and you sell them a fast car, and then they go to that dealership and they speed and they kill somebody. It sounds like you're saying you would hold the dealership responsible.
I think yes. I think that if
He
you
wants to, yeah.
I think yes.
Yeah, that's
in the same way we hold a bar responsible if the person's driven drunk 18 times before and like they see the same person walks in and they're over serving them and then they know they're going to go out and drive. I think that bar is held responsible, and it should also be held responsible if you sell a terrorist sarin gas. And if you sell somebody with a horrid driving record, which is very obvious, like a lot of reckless driving, if you sell them a fast car, overall, like if the foreseeability is sufficient enough, and I understand this is kind of where it's gray because it's going to be based on a judgment, and I'm willing to give some benefit of the doubt on these kind of edge cases to the provider. I understand, right? But this is not one of those edge cases.
I don't think
this is not an edge case. Would you agree that this kid is not an edge case?
I think it is an edge case.
I have a question.
What would he have to do for it not to be an edge case? Or sorry, what would he have to do? Would he have to speed like twice as much than he was already doing?
I think okay, maybe we're using edge case differently, right? So when I say edge case, I mean a case that's like not common. It's out of the norm, right? It's something that's
that's not what I'm using it.
Extreme of the spectrum.
That's how I'm using it is like you already agreed that you wouldn't sell Al Qaeda sarin gas because that's like it's not an edge case. Obviously, they're going to do something bad with it. There's enough of an established history there.
When you say it's an edge, that's not an edge case. Then I would say that it. I just mean when we say edge cases, I just mean it's on the extreme of the spectrum.
This kid, you would agree, this kid is a danger to society at this point.
I mean, he's killed somebody, yeah.
Well, but even before he killed somebody, yes, he's still a danger to society. It's not like I don't know if he's a danger to society. No, he is a danger to society. It's very clear. Yes. So why would you give a danger to society a method in which he's posing the danger? Why would you provide that to him in a way that he can more effectively pose that danger?
I think that how do I word this? I think that because of this, to me, this seems like a slippery slope, right? Because this could be applied to so many other situations using your same logic, and we end up with not just like a daddy state or a paternalistic state. You end up with something that's like genuinely like more too authoritarian for me, right? You end up in a state with a state in which like if I know that Greg has got into an argument with a coworker 6 months ago, and I know that they just have a bad relationship, they really don't like each other, they got into screaming matches before. If I buy Greg a gun for Christmas, right, because he's my friend, I could be charged because, hey, well, I knew that Greg was angry at that guy, and he used that gun to kill that guy now. So obviously that's my fault.
Like, I don't think that's foreseeable. But what if Greg? Hold on, wait. What if Greg had taken pot shots at him in the past with a gun?
No, you're okay. You're going.
No. Wait. It's comparable. It's more analogous. It's more analogous.
No, the issue is that what I'm describing. What I'm describing, Lactoid, is be way more common. I think way more common. Right? These situations in which, hey, yeah, we know these people have a bad relationship. Oh yeah, we know that there's some tension in with these who are dating or in their marriage or whatever the fuck. But I want to buy this guy a sword.
Yeah, but that's not predictable.
I want to go.
It's not reasonable.
Can I ask a question, please?
It has to be a reasonable
Why is
that? Sure.
Okay, there's a big debate going on right now. So this past February, this girl, she was murdered by her mother's boyfriend, and she was 13. She actually just turned 13. And then they go through his phone and they find out that since she was 8 years old, he had been taking all these really horrible, child pictures of her and, molesting her and raping, doing really terrible things. The night that she was killed by him, the mother sent her 12-year-old daughter, well, she just turned 13, to sleep upstairs in the same bed as her boyfriend. This guy had been living there, and the mother was also aware that he had been taking pictures of female roommates under the bathroom door. There's text messages on the mother's phone, texting about this, like she knew about this. And she allowed her 13-year-old daughter to sleep in the same bed as her adult boyfriend. And people they want the mother charged for this.
Yeah.
Do you think that's fair?
I want the mother charged.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She should be executed, and so should he.
Well, what's the difference?
In that case, what you just described sounds like something that's unfortunately pretty common, right? Where parents, mothers, fathers will sort of pimp their children out to their partners to maintain a relationship, right? Because
we don't know if she knows. We don't know if she actually knew. She says that she doesn't know. She says
there's no need for
bipolar medicine.
Why the fuck would you send your 13-year-old to sleep with your boyfriend?
Yeah.
No, I know. Why the fuck would you buy your kid a car who speeds all the time with it?
But because kids need cars sometimes to go to work, go to school.
They don't need.
A
They don't need
Beamer, a $70,000 Beamer.
You don't really care
There's
about the
also a
kind of car
bus.
he has. We've
There's a
already
school
established
bus.
this. You
No,
don't
no, no,
care
no,
about
no,
the kind of
Doobie. The
car.
car matters because
Why
when
not
you're
just get him a
buying-
jet
when-
engine?
When
What's
you're,
wrong?
when you're buying a 17-year-old teenage boy a car that is special, like made to make him look cool, fast, whatever. That's why you don't
We don't
typically
even know
buy
if
your
she bought him
17-year-olds
the
on a
car.
motorcycle. You don't buy him a Ninja if you're gonna buy him a motorcycle. You buy him a starter bike. You buy him a fucking Rumbler. You buy him something that a 50cc. You don't buy him a 250cc fucking just speed
Okay,
demon
but
machine
again,
and go, oh.
She should have bought him a
But we don't know
Volkswagen.
if she bought him that car. We know that the car was there at the house. That doesn't mean it
Yeah.
was his
We
car.
got him an Uber account.
Yeah,
The mom didn't know that
I
the boyfriend was going to sleep with her daughter. She didn't know. She wasn't aware. She just knew that he had a weird history.
What you just
with,
described
like,
is like some perv living with a single mother who's
This is
spending
Wait,
a-
in both
Trying to
trying to
cases,
maintain the
somebody
relationship
died.
at the expense of her kid. So
In
yeah,
both
it sounds like
cases,
it's,
somebody died, though.
okay, but yeah, I mean in that case, it sounds like the mother sent her up there to be molested, right? Which
She said
does happen.
she sent them up there because she needed a good night's sleep because she had a really busy work week, and sometimes her daughter sleeps. She doesn't like to sleep alone, so she sent them to sleep upstairs. And she trusted him. She said she totally trusted him, but she knew his past history, right? So even if she could say, "Oh, I'm really, zonked out on my meds," she has mental illness. She has like bipolar and stuff. So, but people want to charge her for neglect, not for the fact that she actually was pimping out her daughter. They want to charge her for child neglect. And so
Yeah,
it's
again,
just
I would need to look at like more details of what you described, but it sounds like she was pimping her daughter to keep her fucked up boyfriend. Like, so that's what it sounds like to me. Just based on what you said, I need to look into it more. But if she was pimping out her daughter, then I think she should be executed.
Well, she was encouraging her son to keep her son.
Wait a minute, Doobie, just look at the facts as she presented, or the list of characteristics as she presented them. If she did not know, right? If it's as she said that she did not know, but about touching the daughter, but she knew about this guy's past, right? If those were the facts of the case, would she be negligent?
When you say, didn't you say that that one of the things that she knew was that he would take pictures of the women in the house, like under the restroom door and shit?
under the bathroom door, yeah.
What I mean,
The house or of other women?
Of if there were no pictures of her daughter, it was of other women in the house.
Oh,
so she had roommates. The mom like kind of rents out the house, so she rents out rooms, and they're
Okay.
female roommates. And he was taking pictures under the bathroom door of them.
Then yeah, I mean, the guy's obviously some like fucked up predator dude. So yeah, it is her responsibility, especially if she's the homeowner and she's renting out rooms. And yeah, it's her responsibility. He's there because of her. So yeah, fuck her.
Okay. I wanted to ask you guys, we can't now, whether teenagers should be allowed to drive at all, because I think that's really such a like a lot of this conversation, and I think it also does compare with like should we allow minors to have weapons, period. Actually, before we go, I just want to get Lactoid's a thought on this, because Lactoid, you specifically said you were unsure about kids driving.
I don't want them to. I think that in order to drive a car, you should be 18, and I think that you should be able to use a gun. But I think that you actually should be under adult supervision up until you're 18. I don't like that. Again, part of it's like a personal preservation. I go hunting on public lands, okay? The idea that there's 14-year-olds there with guns shooting potentially in my direction is troubling, right? In the same way that I get troubled when I see 16-year-olds driving on highways, and I've got the stats to back it up. You want to see like the rates of accidents? 16 and 17-year-olds are the most dangerous drivers by far.
It's unbelievable.
It's not even close.
It's unbelievable. Like, was it? I'm not sure if it was this article or another article I was reading on this, but like 7,000 deaths like per year with teenagers. Now the article didn't say specifically that 16, 17, or also including 18, 19, but one or the other. It's wild.
I am curious about that though, because is that because of how young they are, or is it because or is it because they're new drivers? Because if you were to push it up, if you were to say you can't drive until you're 18, would those stats then shift up to 18 and 19-year-old?
You would probably see some shift upwards, but there's going to be like a significant amount of the accidents being caused by the typical problems that we see with younger people, which is lack of executive control, impulsivity, and
most of it's young males. Like most of it is young males.
Well, believe it or not,
yeah, that's why insurance companies get better rates
per mile. Per mile, men are safer drivers. It's just that men drive so much more on average that they have more accidents than women.
And that's what I've always said. Don't put women behind the wheel of a car, right? Putting the rest of society in danger. Finally, the proof. Thank you, Lactoid.
Wait, hold on. I don't think that's true of teen boys, Lactoid. I think
I don't know if it's
Well,
I don't know if it's specifically for teens. I just don't generally.
Apparently, the difference is dramatic under the age of 25, which is why insurance rates are so much better. Like you get the insurance rate break at 25, I think, or 26 when you're male.
3 years of driving experience, yeah.
And if you're a woman, then you get the break at 21. It's because
I'm surprised
they are in that range.
I'm surprised they're able to do that because there's also racial stats in terms of accident reports too, but you can't do that. That's illegal.
Unfortunately, you can. Okay, Armenians don't drive well. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Fuck it. Most of my clients, when I was selling personal insurance, a lot of my clients were Armenians. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's crazy. Okay. But I love them. I have many clients today who are Armenian. I love all of them. I'm just saying,
giving me money.
Yeah, they give me money. I love them. They invite me to birthday parties and shit. I love them very much. Something about it. I don't know what it is. Just don't let them drive.
Insurance scams. So like, this is a big thing in Dearborn where it's like a lot of people, I would say, make money off of like car accidents or like their restaurant burned down or their house burned down, or you get some pretty high end insurance on your car and you pay to get it stolen and chopped up. It's pretty decent.
My dad did that.
Okay.
People make careers out of it, man.
That's interesting.
No, for real. It was a whole scheme he had.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Though. Now we know.
There's our next panel right there.
Insurance fraud.
Where Ghosty gets her money. We understand now. Okay.
That's where she's at the mansion.
So we'll leave it here. We're already over time. I want to respect everyone's limits here. But this has been a lot of fun. And there's still obviously so much more to talk about. You guys were like fired up the entire time. I barely had to step in with my correct takes. You guys kind of just took it all on your own. But thanks all. And thanks to you audience for being here. Follow the channel if you haven't done so yet. If you're on YouTube, well, hit the subscribe button there. And consider supporting the channel wherever you might be, or a super chat or a gift sub. Remember, this is September. We haven't got much support today, right? We got 6 subs, I think. But consider helping us out if you like what we're doing. You want more me to be able to do more of this to drag these guys back, entice them, right? Back. Then consider helping out the channel, sub to the channel, give subs. I know you guys come back here often, so if you feel like you're getting value out of this, whether informative or entertaining, consider supporting the channel. It's September, the perfect chance to about the channel. So please do. Okay, let's go to our friend Lactoid. Lactoid, thank you so much for coming through. This was a lot of fun, friend. And you've really taken the spotlight in recent weeks.
Thank you. I just advocate for what I advocate for vigorously. I don't think that 15-year-olds can consent to a lot of things, but I also don't think that a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old can consent to the risk that they put themselves in when they get behind the wheel. I think this is also a consent issue. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but the idea that we let 15-year-olds operate multi-ton, in some cases, motor vehicles, like these Ford F-150s, I mean, you can't even see over the front of them.
God.
If you're my height, right? And then you got these these small women and these children, which are like very physiologically dissimilar, right? They're piloting these battering rams. They can't see shit.
Yeah,
and, anyway. If you like what I had to say, you can find me at Lactoid TV on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Thanks.
Give him a booster.
Yeah, I don't think that should be street legal, to be honest. Like I've been in when I went car shopping like a few years ago, and I can't even see out of those fucking things. Like I can't see what's in front of the car, and I'm 6'4", right? And I can't see in front of the car. Like it's fucked.
They're intense.
Yeah.
So
I
have a lot of lawsuits, by the way, involving like pickup trucks and very small women. So there'll be like 5'6" women, 5'5" women that'll get behind the wheel of these like massive pickup trucks. And yeah, I'm 6'2". I have a difficult time seeing over the hood. They can't see shit. It's just like the sky, and it's like hopefully I'm going the right way. And then they like, well, literally, I've had a case where like they will crash into cars and they never saw the car. They never saw the car. They just ran right into the car. Crazy.
Did they feel the car?
They felt the car when they hit the car.
That might be part of the reason why these small, like, they just want the safety. It was like, I don't care what's in my way. It could just go right like a tank. Like,
Yeah, that or it's like an ego thing with like a lot of short men get those cars. There's like an ego boost thing.
Ghosty, I'll tell you.
Do they continue to drive them after
unrelated to
I'm-
everything else?
I'm a 5'1", and I could barely see over my Honda Accord when I had one. So
Okay, fair enough.
You should get a Ford F-150 or a Raptor, right? That'd be perfect for you.
I've always wanted
Cybertruck.
one.
Yeah.
Cybertruck, you won't even feel it. To
yeah.
answer Corey's question, you'll just keep going.
That's
Well,
why
no.
my aunt bought a Tahoe, because she was like, if I get in a car crash, I know my family's not getting hurt.
yeah,
That's
they
literally
exactly.
what
It's
she
Yeah.
said.
it's just like, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
That is
Argument.
some thinking.
It's a good
Yeah, but
argument.
like
Thinking, yeah.
you're the battering ram. You're the one most likely.
One last thing I'm going to say
Your
about this.
family, my family.
I actually did look at like a comparison of different vehicles, and the Ford F-150 has like a higher like field of view, like it's set higher than an Abrams tank. So if you were driving a tank, you would have an easier time seeing what's in front of you than if you're driving a Ford F-150.
There's and it's and considering the family, I know we're obviously ending here, but like the thing with the family, we've talked about it before, how like a person of like normal height, sitting in one of these cars, like they've done like demonstrations where they line up children, right, who are like like 8-year-olds old or something. They have them like sitting on the ground, and like you have to see like it's like I forget the exact number, like 8 or 9 children deep, right? Who are just like, like crouching on the ground before you see any of them, right? Like if they're like, right next to each other, 8 or 9 children deep before you actually see one of them. And this is what's happening. So people can say, well, I'm protecting my family, but then they go to their homes, they go to their driveways, and they don't see their kids there. It's extremely dangerous. And we have to rethink our entire car culture when it comes to like making these bigger and heavier cars. Like it's unbelievable. But yeah, thank you for that. Corey, thanks for coming through. You had some great questions today. I really appreciate your presence.
Always appreciated to be here. Almost didn't make it, but I'm glad I did. And on the topic of cars, and now that this is Ghosty's 20th room, I'm curious now how many cars she has. She probably does have an F-150. Probably has 20 F-150s.
Dream out of the car next.
But yeah, as always, this
I
has
don't
been
have
great.
a card.
I'll believe it when I don't see your massive driveway. But yeah, this has all been great. You can find me on Twitch, which I'd be Corey Campbell 84. Twitter, X, Instagram, YouTube is Corey Campbell. Doobie, Ghosty, Ollie, Lactoid, iCal. Always a pleasure. Love you, Prime.
Thank you, friend. Ali, thank you for coming here. You were super passionate today, and I really love to see it. Thank you, friend.
When it comes to putting parents in jail for their kids' actions, I love it. And putting at-risk youth in military school, fucking let's go. But for any and all takes, you can find me at Sociologic, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Gang, it's a pleasure being here with you guys every Monday. I love it.
Yeah, thanks so much. You really added a lot today. Thanks so much. We have a new thing to speculate with Ghosty, right? Now we've been trying to figure out her acreage, right, for her estate.
I did this on purpose.
Is there a
today. I
metric
was
beyond
like,
acreage? It must be bigger than maybe.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to run out of rooms. So, but I'll keep trying, like different.
It's
corners
time to
so you
add
don't
on to
know
the
it's the
Corners
same
in different
room.
walls, yeah.
Construction is starting now for the new wing.
This Ethernet cord you have is fucking amazing, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I know. Apparently.
But now we can also wonder, like, how many fatalities, right, that happened between here, her arriving at the stream, right, and her coming from, I don't know, her tennis courts, right? They're a few miles away. So, how many servants might have died? We'll be taking bets from now on that. So, go see.
Okay.
Thank you for coming through.
Yeah, thank you again. Good conversation with you all. You guys, I think we kind of said everything that I don't really have any more else to say. So you can find me on YouTube. It's Ghosty. It's spelled with a 6. And yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Aiko, thank you for coming through. You got a Vatican II reference in here, right? How wonderful for you.
Yeah, slipped it in. Yeah. That was great.
I really appreciate you. Thanks so much, friend.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for coming. I just have, I guess I have a Twitter account, the same name. That's about it. But yeah, it's always good to come by.
All right. And last but not least, we have our good friend Doobie, Dark Lord Saver. Thank you, Doobie, for coming through. Like, I'm always happy when we get to have him. But also, I really want to congratulate you again on your birthday. Like, really happy that you're around here with us, and you've been stuck with me for such a long time. And so hopefully many years to come, friend.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Prime. I appreciate it, even if you did kill my ears with that song earlier.
We did. I had to ambush him. Otherwise, he just fucking ran away. Right? So yeah, it's a surprise. Even if next time, I'll wait goddamn 3 months to do it. I don't think I won't. I don't think I fucking won't. But thanks all. You would think in all that time, right? With those outros, I would have planned where I'm gonna rate out, but as always, I don't. So let's scroll. I don't know. Most of these people look like they're a problem in some way. And I wouldn't agree. Well, I mean, she looks kind of cute, so I'll send you guys. Yeah, she's cute. That's all I need. I'll send you her way. Anyway, back in the future, everyone. I hope you have a great day. And I don't know how to end these things. I'm always waiting for the raid to happen, and it takes so long. Oh my god, there we go. It's so awkwardly long. All right. Thanks all. Hey, Doobie, I want to talk to you about something real quick. And I'll come back here in a second. So I'll drag you off to the other room.
Okay. Right, I'm getting out of here, fellas. Have a good night.
Catch you guys later.
iCal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's episode of Black Toy TV. We're going to raid on out. Probably just going to raid out into Reservoir, I think, today. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Tomorrow is the presidential debate. We're going to be doing a panel on that tomorrow, likely with Wick and Gibbs and probably some other people as well. So we'll see if this debate was just as exciting as the last debate. But yeah, it'll be fun. Anyway, yeah, catch you guys later. Peace.